Pittsburgh Pirates face the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 111, XM 177, and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 856. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the San Francisco Giants. Nationals on Sirius 132, XM 178, and Internet 869. Giants on Internet 863. 4:10 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the San Diego Padres. Braves on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 842. Padres on Internet 862. 4:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox face the Baltimore Orioles. Red Sox on Sirius 138, XM 180.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on Sirius XM and online with the Sirius XM app. Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game.
It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet.
Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just walked it off.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That goes high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
The way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
That's it! It's a World Series win for LA!
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play.
4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow.
My goodness.
Major League Baseball play-by-play is now on Sirius XM and online with the Sirius XM app.
This is Xavier Scruggs from the leadoff spot. Join me and Danny Wexelman Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern as we recap all the action from the weekend in baseball, including a clash between two of the NL's best, as Juan Soto and the Mets host Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers. We'll give you all the big plays from all the big games in case you missed it, and take you around the bases with all the top stories of the day. All that and more in the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Our bats have been really kind of the way we envisioned them. Jimenez has kind of picked up where he left off in spring, as has Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, and George Springer is making progress and kind of quieting some people down on the outside with the start he got off to.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the Sirius XM app.
While you're listening to this game on Sirius XM, we're talking about the latest odds and prop bets for this and every game on Sports Grid Radio.
The under's minus 125. Heavy juice to the under.
Every home run hit and every strikeout thrown can change the line.
I can't for the life of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159.
This is John Palmarosi. This week on the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Fred McGriff.
You got less than 1 second to decide if you're going to swing or not. Your teammates can't help you. When you're up there in that batter's box, it's just you against this pitcher. That's why baseball's a great game.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM 89, and the SiriusXM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have a take and don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open.
Busted Open.
Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, channel 84.
CJCL Toronto. This
slams the ball to right field, way back, way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second to throw. In time
on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
After a low-scoring loss in the series opener, the Blue Jays are back in Tampa today at George M. Steinbrenner Field, looking to even up the series against the Rays. Hi, everyone. I'm Ben Schulman alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host today. Nick Blackmore, our producer. Tom Young is our technical director. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Nicolette and Trois-Rivières, Quebec. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. It's a pitching matchup rematch from the May 13th 11-9 win for the Rays. Jose Barrios goes for the Blue Jays. Shane Baz goes for the Rays, and I think if you ask both of them, they're still looking to get into their full gear in this 2025 season. We'll have lineup standings, first pitch on the other side. This is Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit bluejays.com.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Sports are all about moments.
One of the most incredible, miraculous finishes we have ever seen.
And you can hear them all.
He scores! Alex Ovechkin! There's a new goal-scoring champion!
As they happen.
Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani, a sayonara swing!
Live in the moment.
Rory McIlroy on his knees. He's won the Masters.
With live sports on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, channel 82.
That Radio Network.
About to get going in Game 2 at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. It's the Blue Jays and the Tampa Bay Rays after a win yesterday for the Rays. This is Blue Jays Baseball. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Before we get into it, let's get over to the Bet365 standings. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. Some finals already. The Yankees have won today. They're 31-20. Red Sox have already won in the first of their 2 games today. They're 27-26, 5 back. Blue Jays 5.5 back, 25-25. 6.5 back are the Rays at 24-26, and already a loss today in the first of two for Baltimore. They are 16-34, 14.5 back. In the sunlight, the Rays trot out onto the field in their home white uniforms today. Let's take a look at who's in the lineup, starting with Kevin Cash's Rays, Chris.
Well, for those Rays, leading off is Yandy Diaz. He's DHing. Batting second is Josh Lowe. He's in right field. Brandon Lau is batting third. He's at second base. At third base, in the cleanup spot, is Junior Caminero. Batting fifth is Jonathan Aranda. He's at first base. Batting sixth is Jose Caballero. He's at shortstop. In center field, Cameron Meisner. He'll bat seventh. Batting eighth is Danny Jansen, the former Jay. He's catching. And in left field, batting ninth, is Chandler Simpson. On the mound is righty Shane Boz. For the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off is Bo Bichette. He's at shortstop. Batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He'll be at first base tonight. Batting third is Dalton Varsho. He's in center field. In the cleanup spot is George Springer. He's DHing. Behind the plate, Alejandro Kirk. Batting sixth is Anthony Santander. He's in right field. At third base, batting seventh is Addison Barger. Batting eighth is Ernie Clement. He'll be at second base tonight. And in left field, batting ninth is Nathan Lucas. On the mound is Jose Barrios.
Jose Barrios facing off with Shane Boz. Shane Boz getting in his warm-ups right now. The right-hander with long hair peeking out of the back of his cap and a bleach blonde mustache gets ready for his 10th start of the season. 3-3 with a 5.33 ERA. The 25-year-old has been hurt a lot of his career, so he hasn't had that many starts. But of his parts of 4 seasons so far, this has been really the most struggles we've seen out of Shane Boz. The Blue Jays on May 13th scored 3 against him in 4 2/3, and overall he's allowed at least 5 runs in 4 of the last 6.
He's got really, really good stuff, and that's why it's so interesting that his numbers really aren't great. Sometimes he just struggles to find the zone, but this is a big fastball up to 100 miles an hour.
Boz steps onto the hill in the shade on what's a sunny day in Tampa. Bo Bichette leading off for the Blue Jays in the Road Grays. Boz faces toward third base, kicks and offers. Misses up top at 95, ball 1. Time of the first pitch today, 7:06 Eastern. It's a blistering 31 degrees and sunny in Tampa, Florida. Large swaths of the infield covered in shade, though. Here's the 1-0. Up and in at 96, and already 2 big misses from Boz. 2 balls, no strikes. Home plate ump tonight is Carlos Torres. Alfonso Marquez at first. Lance Barrett at second. Brock Ballou at third. The kick and the 2-0. Breaking ball gets him over for strike 1.
That's a good pitch. I've said this a lot this season, but to find the release point of that fastball when you're struggling to find that release point with it, it's good to mix in that curveball because it forces you to get out front.
Boz looking away from the plate now. The 2-1 is a curveball hit foul. Over the netting right side into the seats, 2-2. For Boz, the four-seamer's the main pitch, throws it about half the time, averages 97 on it. But the curve is the main secondary. He'll also throw a changeup and a slider. 2-2. Fastball ripped foul off to the right. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. May 13th in Toronto, Boz allowed 4 hits and 3 runs on 2 walks and 6 strikeouts across 4 2/3 innings. 2-2. Lifted out to center field, freezing. Cameron Meisner now walks in and makes the catch with the shades on in the sun. There's 1 out.
I know it's early, but Shane Boz actually looks pretty good finding the strike zone. The first 2 pitches were tough, but after that, once he mixed in that breaking ball, found the release point, he was on point.
If he's not walking, guys, he should have a lot of success, and he did to start the season, even around a couple walks. 1 out. Here's his pitch to Vlad Guerrero. 98 on the corner, strike 1. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Right on right, the 0-1. Swing and a pop-up. Back of the second baseman, Lau. Charging in the right fielder, Low, but it's Lau who makes the tough over-the-shoulder catch, racing out of the shade into the sun. and there are 2 down.
And that's the rare changeup from Shane Baz. Not a great pitch, but you can see that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was kind of fooled by it, ate him up a little bit, and he hit a weak fly ball to right field.
So 2 outs and the base is empty. No score in the top of the first. And the left-handed hitter Dalton Varsho is up, shifting the defense for the Rays over to the first base side. Baz kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Part of those 3 earned runs that Baz allowed against the Blue Jays on the 13th was a Dalton Varsho solo home run, one of 2 homers he hit that day. The 0-1. In the dirt. Spiked the changeup there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Changeup at 92 miles an hour. That is a hard changeup.
It's no Pete Fairbanks 95 mile an hour change, but you're right. It's one of the hardest in baseball. Baz is 1-1. Swing and a miss through a better change that time on the outer half at 90, 1-2.
But when you throw 98, 99 miles an hour and then you mix in that BP fastball basically at 90 miles an hour, still tough to hit.
Varsho stepped out, took a half swing, now back in there. Left-handed hitter is batting .203 this year, but almost all extra base hits. 3 doubles, a triple, and 7 homers. 1-2 is outside at 99. Baz started to walk back to the dugout. It missed by at least a ball, maybe more. It's 2-2.
Yeah, it looked like a good pitch. I think Danny Jansen sold that a little bit better than it was, bringing it back into the strike zone.
2-2. Swing and a pop-up. Near third, charging in. Caminero onto the infield grass, makes the catch as he was headed toward home plate to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Shane Baz, a fly out and 2 pop flies. It's a scoreless top of the first. 0-0 Blue Jays and Rays. Jose Barrios on next. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Of all the things that Timber Mart can lend a hand to build, community ranks among the most important. And with the Timber Mart Local Leaders Initiative, we strive to recognize those dedicated to making their hometowns a better place to live, work, and play. From now to June 25th, you can vote to select our grand prize winner. They'll receive a $10,000 grant to support their outstanding initiative as Timber Mart's Local Leader of the Year. To vote, visit local-leaders.com. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit bluejays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Breaking Music 5 must be 19 or older, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
A game-tying blast from Bo Bichette.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Jose Barrios steps onto the hill. Yandy Diaz in the batter's box, hitting from the right side. Bottom of the first inning about to start. First pitch is bounced over the hill, up the middle. Running to his left, Bichette picks it up. Jump throw to first in time. Nice play by Bo Bichette up the middle. 1 pitch, 1 out for Jose Barrios.
Well, I think Jose Barrios will take that. Not a great pitch. Not sure what Yandy Diaz was trying to do there. First pitch of the ball game, but Jose Barrios, like you said, 1 pitch, 1 out.
Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth alongside former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. 0-0 Blue Jays and Rays as Jose Barrios' 11th start of the year gets underway. He's 1-1 with a 4.19 ERA. His pitch to Josh Lowe. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. It's been ups and downs so far for Barrios this year. There are times where he has looked really good, just like himself, and then times where he struggled as well. 1-0 is fouled back, 1-1. You look at his last 2 starts. His last one, he went 6 innings, gave up only 2 earned runs, although he had to scatter 8 hits. against the Detroit Tigers, one of the best teams in baseball. That was a good one. The time before that was the 13th at home against these Tampa Bay Rays. He gave up 5 in 5 1/3. The 1-1. High with a cutter. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think it's really simple with Jose Barrios. If he can locate that sinker, if he can throw that slurve in the strike zone and then out of the strike zone, he's probably going to be good. In his last start against the Tampa Bay Rays, he just didn't do that.
2-1 sinker, runs away outside, 3-1.
I know that sounds really simple, but throw that fastball where you want to, throw that sinker where you want to, and then you can mix in the breaking balls, and that should be that.
Right-hander in the sun, kicks and offers. Check swing, and that pitch is outside just by a hair, ball 4. Well, it's interesting you say that because it's almost exactly what John Schneider said today, talking about Jose Barrios. He said a big key for Barrios is the breaking ball. Feels like he hasn't gotten everything from it, throwing it for strikes early in counts and then for balls later in counts. And that he needs to set it up, pitching with the fastball in the zone and inside to lefties. Pitch to the left-handed hitting Brandon Lau is called a strike. 4-seamer at the top of the zone to get ahead 0-1.
Well, we've seen him try to throw into lefties. It's not something he doesn't try to do, but it's just one of those sinkers that starts inside and then leaks right back over the heart of the plate, and it gives left-handed hitters a chance to get the barrel to it.
0-1. Fastball just missed off the plate away. A 4-seamer. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Josh Lowe on first, 1 out. Brandon Lau at the plate. Bearded second baseman. Hit a 2-run shot yesterday in the Rays' 3-1 win. Barrios kicks and deals. Slurve missed down low. Just missed by a hair. 2-1. Barrios has walked a guy and fallen behind Brandon Lau, but the misses have been all around the zone so far, not scattering. His 10th pitch of the day. That one misses well outside, 3-1.
And you could see him just frustrated. After he threw that pitch, he started walking around the mound, even before Alejandro Kirk threw it back to him. Really fighting something out there, grinding through this first inning so far.
3 balls and 1 strike. Barrios looks over at first, now sets at the belt. The 3-1. Foul back. Went back to the 4-seamer at the top, and it was hit away off to the left by Lau.
But even that pitch there, he still missed his spot. It was off the plate outside. Brandon Lau helped him out there with that foul ball.
A lot of misses to the arm side early on for the right-hander Jose Barrios. 6 foot tall, 205 pounds, 30 years old, from Puerto Rico. 3-2. Runner takes off, pitch is hammered out to right center field. That one bounces up against the wall, and it's going to bounce over the wall, actually saving the Blue Jays a run, I believe. Josh Lowe goes to touch home plate, but I think he'll be directed back to third base on what's a ground rule double for Lau. Second and third for the Rays, only 1 out.
Well, Brandon Lau has been so difficult to pitch to against the Toronto Blue Jays. He knows that Jose Barrios is struggling to find the strike zone, so he knows that he's going to throw a strike, or at least try to throw a strike on this 3-2 pitch. And he got his pitch about belt high, outer third, and he hammered that thing into the gap.
So Lau on second, and Lowe has returned to third base. The ground rule double saves a run right there for Jose Barrios, at least for now. But Kevin Cash is having a discussion with the umpires because Lowe was off on the pitch, and he might have hit the bag at second prior to that ball going out. So he's in a discussion right now with the umpires, trying to get a little bit more clarification on Lowe returning to third.
I believe it's umpire's discretion, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what Cash is discussing right now with the umpires, but I would imagine that Lowe will be back at third base.
Cash doesn't look happy, but he looks to be satisfied with the discussion. He turns back.
Well, it's a great decision for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now Jose Barrios can strike a guy out, get a pop-up, and get out of this inning without giving up a run.
So second and third for the Rays, only 1 out. Barrios getting in a warm-up pitch or two quickly, just as there was a delay there with Cash talking to the umps. And now Junior Caminero is going to come up, 21-year-old third baseman that impressed again yesterday, coming up with 2 hits and a walk. One of those hits was a double. It's from the right side. Barrios looks into the plate and the pitch. Outside, ball 1. Blue Jays have the corner infielders a little bit in. Middle infielders are playing further back. So if he hits a ground ball up the middle, it's likely a run for the Rays. Hit it at the corners, it gets more interesting. The 1-0. This up top, 2 balls, no strikes in command. Really a struggle at this point early on in the start for Barrios.
He's really fighting that release point. Hasn't found it yet. He will eventually. You just have to keep these runners at second and third.
2-0. Swing and a miss, and Caminero flings the bat into the Blue Jays' third base dugout by accident. Got a big whiff on the slurve. The lumber bounced off of the netting behind the backstop or behind the dugout and rolled right into it. It's 2-1.
That was a great pitch, wasn't it?
It really was.
That was his best pitch of the game so far, and you could tell by the swing, by him letting go of the bat. The big pitch here, 2-1 count with 1 out and runners at second and third.
That bat fling could also be a sign of the weather conditions outside. It is hot with the Blue Jays playing the Rays in Tampa. 31 degrees at first pitch, and that's going to melt the pine tar a little bit. You're going to sweat into your batting gloves. Everything's a little more slick right now than usual. The 2-1. Hit well. Deep left field. Ranging back, Lucas on the track. It's out of here. 3-run homer for Junior Caminero, and the Rays are up 3-0 in the first.
Well, as a pitcher, you never want to throw a good off-speed pitch out of the zone and then throw a spinner in the zone, and that's exactly what Jose Barrios did. He threw a really good one and then a bad one, and Junior Caminero was waiting for it. He was all over it, and he hammered a 3-run home run to left field.
Junior Caminero keeps crushing the Blue Jays, his 9th home run of the season. And the Rays have equaled their run total yesterday in the first inning today, putting up a 3 spot with only 1 out.
He is such a good young player. 21 years old.
His 9 home runs tied with Brandon Lau now for the team lead for Tampa Bay. Pitch to Jonathan Aranda, called a strike, 0-1. Jose Barrios looking to reset after the walk, double, and 3-run homer. 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the first. Aranda, left-handed hitter, open stance. The pitch. Outside, 1-1. Aranda had the day off yesterday with the Blue Jays throwing out left-hander Eric Lauer back in today. First baseman hitting .306 on the year, 8 doubles and a homer. Next pitch hit back foul, 1-2. Pardon me, 9 doubles and 6 homers, 24 RBIs for Aranda. Mexican first baseman asks for time, steps out for a moment. Now he's back in the lefty box. 3-0 Rays, bottom of the first. With 1 out, Barrios sets. And here's his 20th pitch of the inning. In the dirt, ball 2. Aranda, the 5th hitter in the order today, faces a 2-2 and hits it on the ground to second. Backhanded Clement. Toss over to first to Guerrero, 2 down.
That was a much better at bat for Jose Barrios. Threw some good pitches, was in the strike zone. And he gets a very good hitter in Jonathan Aranda to ground out to second base for the 2nd out.
Barrios wipes his face, stretches out his arms. You can see the sweat shining off of his arms on a warm day in Tampa as the right-hander spits, settles onto the rubber, and looks into the plate. He offers to Jose Caballero. Outside, yanked the fastball, ball 1. Double-lined eye black for the right-handed hitter, Jose Caballero, starting at shortstop for his 2nd straight day. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Good change.
That's a really good pitch. He's going to have to utilize that. If he doesn't have a good feel for that slur, for that fastball early on, he'll have to mix in that good changeup, and he does it right there.
Change has been one of his better pitches, actually, this season. 1-1. Hit very high out to left field. Medium depth for Lucas. Camped under it. He makes the catch to end the inning. But the Rays strike for a bunch early. They scored 3 runs on 2 hits. It's the junior Caminero 3-run homer that makes it 3-0 Tampa Bay after an inning. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hear every game of the NBA playoffs on SiriusXM.
He's going to fire up a 3 for the win!
Don't miss a second of the action all the way through the NBA Finals.
It's good from the left wing. Jalen Brunson is red hot.
And throughout the playoffs, get closer to the storylines that matter on NBA Radio, Channel 86.
There are certain guys that you need to be a part of your roster to win NBA championships.
Listen to home and away broadcasts of every NBA playoff game on your radio and the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600
from Charlotte Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. 24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
George Springer leads it off for the Blue Jays. Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Top of the second. Toronto's got its work cut out, down 3-0 after an inning to the Tampa Bay Rays. Shane Baz misses up top at 95. It's ball 1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, you never want to go down early, but the Blue Jays at least have 8 innings in front of them to try and make up the deficit. 1-0. Curveball for a strike.
If you're going to give up 3 runs, might as well give them up in the first inning.
Baz had a very clean first inning himself. 1-2-3 against the Blue Jays' top third. 1-1. Just spiked the changeup in front of the plate. That's been an erratic pitch for him so far. It's 2-1. Talked about some of the command issues for Shane Baz. They've really reared their ugly head here in May. 2-1. Swinging a ground ball hit right at the shortstop. Caballero up with it, throws on to first. 1 out. You look at Shane Baz's 4 previous starts in May. He walked 3 in 6 innings in his last start at Miami. He walked 2 Blue Jays in 4 2/3 on the 13th. On the 7th, he walked 2 Phillies in 3 1/3. And then on the 1st, he walked 3 Royals in 5 2/3. And if you skip one start, a really good one he had against San Diego, go to April 19th, another big walk day. Pitched to Alejandro Kirk, misses high, ball 1. On that day, April 19th, against the Yankees, he walked 4 total in 3 1/3. 19 walks overall on the season. 1 out, the righty's 1-0. This is way high with his first slider of the day. 2 balls, no strikes.
The good thing about Shane Baz, though, is, and I'm saying this from his perspective, is his stuff is good enough to fall behind 2-0 to hitters. He's got that upper 90s fastball, that devastating curveball.
2-0. Misses high with the curve, ball 3.
So if his fastball wasn't as fast, let's say it was sitting around 95, 96, if that curveball wasn't as good as it is, his numbers would be even worse.
The 3-0. Called strike. Just clipped the top of the zone with 97. Blue Jays were walked 8 times yesterday in the loss to the Rays. The 3-1 Tampa Bay Rays win. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. But as you rightly pointed out, yes, they were walked a bunch of times and they didn't come through in some of those spots. This is a little bit how the Rays staff is set up. They got huge stuff guys. They will mess up with the command sometimes, and they come right back and they'll punch people out or absolutely blow up a bat with 99 inside. It's just kind of the style they've gone after.
And we saw that with Jimmy Garcia. He had the bases loaded in one of his games. I don't remember exactly what game it was.
First pitch to Anthony Santander, called a ball, 1-0.
Was it against Seattle?
I think you're right.
I think he had the bases loaded with nobody out, and as we've seen so often over the course of this season, his stuff is so good that he can get himself out of those jams. The Rays are like that.
1-0 pitch is up top, 2-0. By the way, we'll talk about Jimmy Garcia in just a little bit. But Anthony Santander is up, switch hitter and right fielder today for the Blue Jays. First appearance in the outfield since May 15th. Bats from the left side. Kirk on first. 2-0 count. The pitch. Inside, ball 3. Shane Baz has come out this inning. He's thrown 7 balls and 1 strike. And that 1 strike was a 3-0 pitch that barely got the zone.
And I bet if you're Anthony Santander, you're probably taking all the way here. Feels weird saying that, but
3-0. Looked like he was as he takes a strike at the top. 3-1. Santander hitting 188 on the year, 598 on base plus slugging, 5 doubles, 6 homers. 3-1 pitch, swing and a miss. 96 delivered to the top, 3-2.
That was a big swing from Anthony Santander. I don't dislike that swing. You're ahead in the count, 3-1. Why not get big? Try to get back in this ball game.
Saw Santander come off the bench yesterday, earn a walk in the 9th inning. And John Schneider liked what he saw physically from Santander enough to put him in the field back in the starting lineup today. 3-2 misses way high and outside. That's back-to-back walks to start the inning for Baz.
I mean, that fastball was nowhere near the strike zone. Yes, it was 96 miles an hour, but you at least have to be in the strike zone and then out of the strike zone for a hitter to even react to it and attempt to swing at it. That was an easy take from Anthony Santander right there.
Perhaps some of those big misses why Danny Jansen went out to talk to Shane Baz. Jansen walking back behind the plate in this 2nd inning. That's presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. 1 out, runners on, first and second, and the pitch to Addison Barger. Called strike.
That's a good pitch. Just finding that release point with that big breaking curveball, almost a 12-6 breaking ball there, right in the strike zone.
About 15 miles an hour slower than his fastball. Here's his 0-1. Fastball at 99, strike 2, right on the inside corner. I mean, you've been put in the mixer if you're Addison Barger.
Couldn't find the zone for the first 12 pitches, and then he just is perfect for the first 2 against Addison Barger.
Ground out of Springer, then back-to-back walks. 1 out, and here's the 2-strike pitch. Bounced away foul. Barger nearly lost his helmet, tipping that knuckle curve back behind him into the backstop. Barger took off his helmet for a moment, readjusted it. Well-built left-handed hitter playing third base today. A look at second by Baz, another 0-2. In the dirt, check swing. Jansen asks for an appeal, and on appeal, no swing, says Brock Ballou. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
That's a great block by Danny Jansen back there, sliding to his right, keeping Alejandro Kirk at second, and Anthony Santander at first base. 3-0 Rays, 1 out top of the second.
Pause, glove at his stomach. Looks to second. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Threw the changeup that just ran sideways off the plate outside. And there are 2 down.
I mean, that at bat right there is enough to frustrate you if you're the Tampa Bay Rays. Perfect for about 5 pitches, showing elite stuff. And then all of a sudden he'll lose it again. I'd be pulling my hair out if I was Kevin Cash. That is some good stuff right there.
And Shane Baz at times could be a bit of an enigma. His first pitch to Ernie Clement, swing and a miss, strike 1. I mentioned earlier, this is technically his 4th season, but it's his 33rd career start. So you almost have 1 full year or 1 full season of work out of Shane Baz, spanning from 2021 to 2025. 0-1. High and outside. And including some outs recorded so far today, he's thrown 170 in a third innings pitched in his 33 starts to a 3.91 ERA. Not bad. Pretty good. A lot of guys would take that. But when you look at Baz, it feels like he could be a Cy Young contender if things come together. He'll step off before dealing a 1-1 to Clement.
I think if he can finally have some command of his fastball, I think you're right. I think this arm, that's a Cy Young candidate arm for sure.
Right-hander looking down at the ground. Takes a breath, the 1-1. Swing and a line drive. Base hit into left field, hugging the line. Alejandro Kirk to third. He'll stop there, and the bases are loaded for the Blue Jays with 2 down.
And that's too bad for Ernie Clement. A very nice hit off of Shane Baz, but Alejandro Kirk at second base, obviously not all that fast out there. He has to stop at third base, and the Blue Jays have the bases loaded now. And 2 outs in this inning.
It'll bring Nathan Lucas into a big spot. Former Rays minor leaguer. Hitting here with 2 outs and the bases full in a 3-0 game in favor of Tampa Bay. Thick beard for the left-handed hitter. Faces a pitch from Baz. Low ball 1. The interesting thing here, Baz has to be in the zone. The bases are loaded, and it feels like even when he's wanted to be in the zone at times this inning, he hasn't been able to. Righty's 1-0. Swing and a ground ball, left side, sliding stop. Caminero spins, pops up, throws to second to get the out and end the inning. Really nice play over at third by Junior Caminero. And the Blue Jays do not score. Despite the pair of walks and a hit, no runs, they leave a couple on, and we go to the bottom of the second. 3-0 Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit bluejays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball hit to center field. Varsho with a dive, and he makes the catch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host, Nick Blackmore, our producer, Tom Young, our technical director. Bottom of the second, game 2 of the series between the Blue Jays and the Rays. Rookie Cameron Meisner leads off, tall left-handed hitting center fielder against Jose Barrios. The pitch. Call to strike. Meisner hitting .233 on the year, OPS just under 700. Got out of the gates incredibly hot, but has struggled since. A 1-pitch hit on the ground foul, 0-2. This is to be expected for a rookie, so not trying to come down on Meisner at all, but last 25 games, left-handed hitter has batted .122 with a .350 on base plus slugging. He's punched out 38 times in those 25 games. 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I wonder if the Rays are considering optioning him.
It's probably something that's at least been discussed, although the Rays do have a good handful of injuries, and that has prevented them at times from slow playing rookies. 1-2 pitch misses inside, 2-2. You know, Meisner wouldn't have to play so much if Johnny DeLuca was healthy, but the Rays center fielder is on the 10-day injured list with a shoulder injury. They need Caballero at short. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gets him on a changeup. First strikeout of the day for Jose Barrios.
That was a great changeup. Cameron Meisner was way out in front. It almost had split finger action to it. Dove below that strike zone. Really nice pitch from Jose Barrios. Looks like he's found something.
Barrios allowed 2 hits and 3 runs in the first. He did get the last 2 of that inning. Aranda and Caballero back-to-back. And now he gets Meisner for a 3rd out in a row. He pitches to Danny Jansen. It's inside, ball 1. Just on the Rays injury, so in center field, you often have DeLuca. He's out. Richie Palacios at times can be super utility. He's on the 10-day IL with a knee injury. They picked up Travis Jankowski at one point. He's on the 10-day IL. 1-0 is lifted by Jansen. High pop-up near third base. Shortstop Bichette creeping in, makes the catch on the dirt. 2 down.
The only thing I don't love about keeping a guy that's obviously really struggling is that you just bury him and you just wreck his confidence. Right. And I really hope that's not happening for Cameron Meisner because he's such a good young player. Injuries stink. I understand that. I understand the Rays situation, but man, oh man, you have to feel for that guy. He's really going through it right now.
To a lesser degree, Chandler Simpson has dealt with some of this. He has cooled off a little bit after his hot start. He takes up high, ball 1. Not in terms of the batting average. Left-handed hitter who's up right now is hitting .290 on the year, but with little power and few walks, his on-base plus slugging .644. He chops at a ball and hits it on the ground foul, 1-1.
He's really exciting, though.
He is. And he provides some value that will not show up necessarily in the stats. The pressure he puts, the double plays he prevents. 1-1. Hit on the ground to second base. Backhanded Clement. Quick transfer throw over to first. And a tiny 1-2-3 inning for Jose Barrios. A strikeout, a pop out, a ground out. And we go to the third, 3-0 Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday, so many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit bluejays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime 365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike three. He punched out the side with his 9th K of the day.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the order for the Blue Jays in the top of the third inning. 3-0 for the Rays. Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Shane Baz steals to Bo Bichette. Swing and a rocket hit on a couple hops to short. Fielded forehand side. Caballero throws in place to first. 1 out. So Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up after Bo Bichette hit another ball hard in this series. He's been robbed a couple times, especially thinking back to that great stop that Caballero made yesterday on Bo's one hopper into the 5-6 hole. Pitch to Vlad Guerrero Jr. outside, ball 1. This third inning brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Nicolette and Trois-Rivières, Quebec. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center. Visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Check swing by Vlad on a pitch low on appeal. It's still ruled a ball. Alfonso Marquez waving the safe sign from first. It's 2-0. Guerrero 0 for 1 today. Hitters count. Here's the pitch. Swinging a broken bat ground ball to third base. Caballero tosses it over to first, and there are 2 down.
That was actually a very good pitch to hit. It was just a hanging breaking ball from Shane Baz. He actually ended up breaking his bat, broke it in half.
Well, I think Vladdy broke it in half.
Oh, Vlad broke it in half. There it is.
It broke on the swing, but Vlad, a little bit frustrated by the result there, snapped it over his knee.
I'd probably be a little bit frustrated as well. That was a middle breaking ball, a pitch he should probably hammer.
First pitch to Varsho called a strike 0-1. Second time that Baz is facing the top third of the Blue Jay order. So far, they're 0 for 5. 0-1 to Varsho. Hit on the ground to first. Picked up there, Arana. That is a quick top of the third. 3 groundouts forced to Bichette, Guerrero, and Varsho. Shane Baz with a 1-2-3 inning. Middle of the third, 3-0 Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's not just a race, it's an American tradition. Start your engine. The Indianapolis 500 is on Sirius XM.
The green flag flies. They reach the yard of bricks.
Who will drink the milk and kiss the bricks this year? Find out Sunday morning at 11 Eastern when Sirius XM brings you the greatest spectacle in racing. The 109th Indianapolis 500 on Fox Sports Radio Channel 83, IndyCar Nation Channel 218, and the Sirius XM app.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
In a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
Baseball is back. It's former General Manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the Sirius XM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Don't strike out on your next home improvement project. Your team at Timbermart has the great advice and the products you need, so you get the job done right. Knock it out of the park and win the day with Timbermart, Canada's building center. Jose Barrios to Yandy Diaz. And it's outside, ball 1. Bottom of the third, 3-0 Rays. In the Timbermark broadcast booth, I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Diaz DHing again. Mid-30s right-handed hitter faces a 1-0. And it's bounced back foul. It's been a bit of an adjustment for Yandy Diaz. Typically a first baseman for this Tampa Bay Rays team. They had started to experiment with it in spring training, getting Yandy into the DH spot a little bit more for two different reasons. The 1-1. Hit well out to deep right field. Ranging back Santander at the wall, and he makes the catch just in front of the fence. Diaz gave it the high finish bat flip, but it just stayed in the yard. He looks awestruck or dumbfounded on first. Santander had it for the first down.
Well, Santander did a good job faking everybody out. He made that play seem like it wasn't going to happen, and then catches it right up against that wall in right field. Yandy Diaz actually pimped that fly ball. Thought it was way out of here.
Usually right field is the spot to hit it, as with one out, Josh Lowe takes a strike, 0-1. But the wind's a little bit right to left today. These are the unpredictable winds you see in Florida, where one day it can go one way, next inning it could go the other way, and Diaz could not believe it. Now one out, the 0-1 to Lowe inside. Diaz, though, DHing more. Part of the fact is he's just, 33 going on 34. He's played a lot of baseball, so, keep him healthier, get him off his feet. But also the Rays had these two guys pushing for the big leagues, Jonathan Aranda and Curtis Mead, as Josh Lowe lifts the 1-1. Shallow left center field, Bo Bichette ranging out there. Shortstop brings it in, 2 down. For the Rays, they've prioritized moving guys up based on hitting and offense. And so the only place they could really put Aranda and Mead confidently is first. Both can play a couple other positions if they need them to, but have not fared necessarily well there in their career. Plus, you got this guy, Brandon Lau, occupying second on a regular basis. 2 down, 3-0 Rays, bottom of the third. Barrios offers. And it's bounced foul. Hook down the right side toward the first base dugout, 0-1.
Yandy Diaz actually had a really good season last year. Not as good as his 2023, obviously, but 281, 14 homers, 65 RBIs. That's not bad.
And 65 RBIs hitting in the leadoff spot with an offense that struggled. 0-1 pitch is hit off the end of the bat. A fly ball out to left field. Going back, Lucas makes the catch on the track to end the inning. A couple deep flyouts, but a 1-2-3 inning for Barrios. 3-0 Rays after 3. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The eyes of the tennis world descend on Paris for the next Grand Slam. Former world number 1, Tracy Austin and Dan Graca take you onto the clay with a Roland Garros preview show.
3 out of 5 at Roland Garros. You have to be fit.
Right now on the Sirius XM app. Just search tennis and talk tennis every Saturday morning at 7 Eastern on Holding Court with Patrick McEnroe.
Never count out the great Novak Djokovic, especially in a major.
On Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82. Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600
from Charlotte Motor Speedway on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the Sirius XM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
At Radio Network.
It's the fourth inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. A miss up and in to George Springer, and we're underway in the top of the fourth. Rays 3, Blue Jays nothing. Springer hitting against Shane Baz. 1-0. Down and away, 2-0. Into the fourth, and the Blue Jays have just one hit off Baz, but they did have the bases loaded with 2 outs in the second because he walked a couple. Patient Springer now faces a 2-0 pitch. Hit well. Out to center field. Moving back Meisner. He's got space. Now sprinting in last second and makes the catch as the winds continue to affect the ballpark. There's 1 out.
Well, now you see why Yandy Diaz's ball didn't get out of here. That was a wild play out there for Cameron Meisner, shaking his head as he catches that ball.
And there is word from the Rays that their outfielders will check the flags every pitch sometimes, or at least every batter, because the wind can be such a factor and change so often. Pitch to Alejandro Kirk is a curve poured over. Strike 1. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Flags are blowing hard out to left field right now. The American, Canadian, and Florida State flags out in left center. 0-1. Swing and a line drive deep left field, hooking toward the corner, and that ball gets down just foul. Maybe 2 feet of foul territory at most as you get further down that line, and it found it just beside the Blue Jay bullpen. It actually went into the Blue Jay bullpen. Pardon me, we lost it into the corner on the angle that we had.
That's a tough bullpen because you can't see the actual field. The stands are blocking your view, so you have to line up along the fence, single file.
And then Kirk hits the ball right at your head as you're leaning over. 1 out, the 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. How about 99 up top? And there are 2 down.
That's a really good sequence. Really tough to square up. A couple of good breaking balls in that at bat. And then how about 99 above the strike zone?
Looked like Kirk turned around, said something to Danny Jansen maybe after striking out. Not sure if he caught him with the backswing. 2 down, pitch to Anthony Santander inside, ball 1.
We just got the replay. It looked like that bat might have just grazed his glove. Not a big deal.
And those 2 very good friends, of course, spending a lot of time together with the Blue Jays. As Baz misses up top, it's 2-0. Santander hitting with 2 outs. He walked on a full count in the second. Two-0 pitch. Swing and a pop-up foul behind the plate into the seats. 2-1. This feels like a ballpark that Anthony Santander could do a lot of damage at if right. 314 to the pole in right field. 2-1. Swing and a liner out to right field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. That pitch was up near the letters, but he flattened his bat out and just shot a liner over the middle of the infield for a single.
Yeah, that pitch was 98 miles an hour up and in. It almost seemed like Anthony Santander was guessing fastball, cheating to that fastball. He gets the barrel to it, hits a single out to right field.
Second time aboard today for Santander. He is 2 of the 4 Blue Jays base runners so far. 2 outs, Addison Barger. Baz's pitch. Called a strike.
I like this matchup. Baz throws that 4-seam fastball, not a ton of movement. Addison Barger loves the hard stuff. Let's see if he can run into one here.
Barger was on the wrong side of a pitching clinic in his first at-bat, struck out swinging. 0-1. Down and away, check swing by Barger, who held up on that 97-mile-per-hour heater, 1-1.
Ironically, that fastball there had a little bit of run to it.
It did. It's a 4-seam fastball for the right-hander, pretty straight, 1-1. Curveball for his strike. A little abbreviated leg kick, and he flicked it in 86, 1-2.
That's just good stuff. If you're Addison Barger, you just got to tip your cap there.
Boz set, glove at his stomach. Santander takes 3 steps off first, and with 2 outs, a 1-2. Hit foul off to the left. This time Barger waited back on the curve and spoiled it to stay alive.
Boz just missed his spot there. You could see Danny Jansen was touching the dirt before he threw that pitch, wanting that pitch in the dirt. Kane Boz left that thing up about thigh high. Luckily, he was outside.
Righty nods and sets the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Got him on a change again. 3rd strikeout for Boz in 2nd in a scoreless top of the 4th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. 3-0 Tampa Bay, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Join us for Cricket Day at the Park, presented by TD, Saturday, May 31st. Arrive early to receive your Blue Jays Cricket Warm-Up Jacket giveaway, presented by TD. Created in collaboration with Cricket Canada. Don't miss out on being a part of the Cricket Day spectacle at Rogers Center. Find your seats at bluejays.com.
Timber Mart. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Every Friday home game is a City Connect Friday. On Friday, May 30th, the first 15,000 fans at the ballpark will receive a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. City Connect replica hockey jersey giveaway. City Connect Fridays, night mode. Lights up, let's go. For tickets, visit bluejays.com.
Bet365 must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Hey, this is Dalton Varsho. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 4th inning at George M. Steinbrenner Field. The Blue Jays taking on the Tampa Bay Rays, trailing 3-0. Junior Camanero's the reason why. He hit a 3-run shot in the first, and he's up again to bat the second time in the bottom of the 4th. First pitch from Barrios, down and away, ball 1. Caminero adjusts his helmet, looks out to Barrios, bat waving above his right shoulder. 1-0. Ball to strike, comeback changeup, started outside, just got the outside corner. It's a hanging slurve by Barrios that was hit out of the yard. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Threw a good slurve there off the plate away. 1-2.
That's a good one. And I'm pretty sure that Jose Barrios learned his lesson on that home run that Junior Caminero hit earlier in the ball game. He probably won't throw another slurve over the middle of the plate.
It's tough for Barrios. He really struggled command-wise in the first. The 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2. Since giving up that Caminero home run, he's retired 8 in a row. He's really settled in, but he allowed a 3-run homer, so he's still trying to work back into maybe a quality start if he could keep this rolling. 2-2. Hit off the end of the bat, sliced foul off to the right.
I mean, just 47 pitches in the ball game for Jose Barrios. He's really settled in, just like you said. That first inning was tough, though. Was all over the strike zone. Didn't really have command of any of his pitches.
Two. Hit on the ground, foul. Threw a changeup to the outer half. Caminero covered it. It is a little bit cooler. It's not cold, but a little bit cooler in Tampa at this point. Perhaps that helping out the pitchers a little bit. It's 29 rather than 31. And shade is covering pretty much the whole diamond. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Got him to chase his slurve way off the plate outside. Bounced in the lefty batter's box. Kirk applies the tag. 1 out.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
Couple finals for AL East teams already with some Saturday day games, including a final in the Yankees-Rockies game. Before I say the score today, I should mention the Rockies won over the Yankees yesterday, 3-2 for their 9th win of the year. They weren't so lucky today. Pitch to Jonathan Aranda, inside ball 1. Today it was more of what we were discussing when we were teeing it up yesterday. It was a 13-1 win for the Yankees, in which they had 21 hits and scored 10 in the 5th inning. 1-0. Line foul to the left, 1-1.
Also, Max Fried was starting for the Yankees, who's 7-0 now.
He's 7-0, and Kyle Freeland after the loss 0-7. Although in Freeland's defense, while he gave up 8 runs in 4 2/3, half of those runs were unearned due to defensive miscues by Colorado. 1-1 to Aranda. Left-handed hitter takes the strike, 1-2. So 13-1, the Yankees win today. Already a final for the Red Sox and Orioles, who tried to do a doubleheader yesterday, but Game 2 got rained out, so they had a doubleheader today. It was an interesting game. Both starters did not do great. 4 earned runs in 5 innings for Zach Eflin, 4 earned runs in 4 innings for Hunter Dobbins. 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Red Sox came back from down 5-2 with a run in the 5th and 2 in the 6th, and then walked it off in the bottom of the 10th inning on a Rafael Devers single to win 6-5. 2-2 to Aranda. High and outside, ball 3. And now it's the Red Sox and Orioles in a pitcher's duel in Game 2. That game already in the 7th, 0-0. Only 1 hit for the Red Sox to 6 for the Orioles. 3-2 pitch. Popped up. Back at third base in shallow left. Barger going out. Lucas sprinting in, and he'll make the catch as Bichette pulled up last second. 2 down. It's a good thing that ball hung up for a while.
That was a wild play. At first, it looked like Addison Barger had a beat on it. Then Bo Bichette was sprinting at it, and all of a sudden, at the last second, Nathan Lucas called everybody off, sprinting in and made an easy catch right at his head.
There's a good chance Bichette could have brought that in, but that is probably Lucas's ball at the end of the day. And if he calls for it, it's definitely his ball. He did. Now 2 outs, bases empty, bottom of the 4th. And the pitch. Jose Caballero takes a strike. 3-0 Rays in the bottom of the 4th. Pitcher's duel right now on the St. Louis Bar and Grill Out-of-Town Scoreboard. It's Trevor Rogers, acquired at the deadline in a controversial Orioles trade last year. A 1 pitch, down and in, 1-1. He's gone 6 shutout. Lucas Giolito has gone 7 shutout innings so far for the Red Sox. Out-of-Town Scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. 2 outs, the 1-1 to Caballero is a slurve on the outside edge. Strike 2.
That wind is whipping right now. You can see why that play was so difficult for Nathan Lucas running in. All 3 of those flags are going wild.
1-2 pitch. Check swing on a slurve, well down and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a lot of reasons that there's a roof on the Trop. Rain and storms, sun and heat, and wind can be big factors in this area of the U.S. 2-2. Hit off the handle, a fly ball out to center. Varsho starts back, shuffles to his left, and makes the catch to end the inning. Jose Barrios has retired the last 11 in a row, but the Rays still on top. It's 3-0 Tampa Bay after 4 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Comedian Brian Regan here. Pure comedy. I'm taking it over for the entire Memorial Day weekend.
You heard right. Brian Regan is taking over Pure Comedy this Memorial Day weekend. You'll hear all your favorite jokes from Brian, as well as his own personal stories about his favorite tracks.
So come hang with me this Memorial Day weekend, only on Pure Comedy, SiriusXM Channel 98, or anytime using the SiriusXM app.
Tell your family and friends. SiriusXM radios are on free now through June 1st. Visit SiriusXM.com/listen free to explore what's available.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday.
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600.
From Charlotte Motor Speedway on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the Sirius XM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
Jays fans, this is George Springer, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM.
George Springer, airborne, snatches it out of the sky.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
3-0 Rays as we go to the top of the 5th inning at George M. Steinbrenner Field. Blue Jays still trying to solve right-hander Shane Baz. He's allowed 2 hits and 2 walks so far, no runs, as he deals to Ernie Clemente and misses outside ball 1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. One of those 2 hits was an Ernie Clemente knock with runners on first and second in the second inning. 1-0. High 2-0. But the lead runner was Alejandro Kirk, so they did not score. And then Nathan Lucas grounded out right after that to strand the bases loaded.
And other than that, Shane Baz has been pretty solid.
61 pitches for the right-handers, 2-0. Yanks it down and away, 3-0.
It really looks to me during this at-bat, Ernie Clemente is forcing Shane Baz to throw a strike before he even commits to anything. I like that approach.
Clemente's been a tiny bit more patient this year than previous. 3-0 is down and in. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. We're going to call that one a strike. It's 3-1. That's not close.
That Blue Jays dugout is barking right now at home plate umpire Carlos Torres. Wow, that was a tough call on Ernie Clemente.
I mean, there's just no world that's a strike. 3-1 pitch. Low, and that one will be a ball. Ernie Clemente waited a sec, flipped his bat away.
The 5th inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today.
Interesting that after the leadoff walk, a mound visit from Kyle Snyder. Baz has been wild all day, really, but like you had mentioned earlier, Chris, he just has the arsenal to pitch out of it, and he has pitched out of it in this start.
Right. I'm sure this at-bat will be a little bit different to Nathan Lucas. He'll lock in. He'll mix in some strikes. That's really what he's done all day. He loses the strike zone for 4 or 5 pitches to one batter, and then he locks into the next one. I'm sure this one will be the exact same.
The Rays would love, I talked a little bit earlier about the inconsistencies of Baz. They would love to just have him start on a consistent basis. He's never made more than 14 starts in a year. That was last year. He's dealt with some pretty significant injuries, arthroscopic elbow surgery, Tommy John, missed all of 2023. So just to get him 20 starts in a year, 100 innings would be a big deal. His pitch to Nathan Lucas is down and away, ball 1.
But man, does he have good stuff.
Really good stuff. And still only 25 years old, even though he debuted in 2021. 1-0 pitch. Hit on the ground towards second. Picked up Lau. Turns, throws to Caballero 1 over to first. 4-6-3 double play. And just like that, the leadoff walk erased.
And that's a four-seam fastball at 96 right down the middle. Nathan Lucas just misses it, hitting a weak ground ball to second base. But again, when you have the kind of stuff that Shane Baz has, you're able to get yourself into situations and then out of situations. And a lot of guys on that Rays staff have the same stuff and the same ability to do that.
2 down, bases empty, 3-0 Rays, top of the 5th, and Bo Bichette, buckled by a curve, takes strike 1. Let's go quickly to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Just about a minute ago, puck drop in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final in the NHL. Carolina and Florida. The series has shifted to Florida with the Panthers already up 2-0. Bichette swings at the 0-1, grounds it to Boss. He takes it to the first base bag to end the inning. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. The Blue Jays trailing the Rays 3-0, middle of the 5th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hello, it's me, Katie Nolan, host of Casuals on the SiriusXM Podcast Network. It's a podcast for people who like sports a normal amount. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I'm joined by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment to break down our favorite news stories from the sports world and beyond. It really doesn't matter what level of sports fandom or knowledge you have, just bring what you've got. We're all here to have fun and learn together. No judgments. You can find Casuals on the SiriusXM app, Pandora, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to follow the show so you never miss an episode. Love you. Mean it.
I'm John Palmarosi, host of the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown. Hear our conversations with Hall of Famers about the challenges they overcame on the journey to baseball immortality.
It is a hard game, and mentally it's hard.
I used to go to bed crying. They pretty much knew I was going to have lung surgery after the season. I wasn't for sure. Would I ever play baseball again?
The Road to Cooperstown is the official podcast of the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum. Episodes are available now on the SiriusXM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Let the games begin.
On SiriusXM, you get all the sports play-by-play you want and all the live sports talk you need. It's always a home game when you listen to the NFL, NHL, NBA, and MLB on the SiriusXM app.
How good is that?
We fuel your fandom with NASCAR, the biggest college games, PGA, and soccer. And when news breaks, hear instant reaction.
We got a big developing story out of Cincinnati.
The SiriusXM app. Everything a sports fan needs, all in one place. From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app. And the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. Bottom of the 5th inning, 3-0 for the home team, the Tampa Bay Rays. All 3 runs coming in the first, and they've sat on the lead since. Pitch to Cameron Meisner. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Meisner, the rookie, 0 for 1 today with a strikeout swinging on a change. Oh, 1 outside. Meisner was a first-round compensatory pick in 2019 by the Marlins, so a first-rounder but taken after the first 30 selections. Came out of Missouri. 1-1. Rounded foul, 1-2. And he's pretty Missouri through and through. It's a great article from the great Mark Topkin of the Tampa Bay Times. Talked about his upbringing in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, a town of under 20,000 close to the Arkansas border. Meisner was a cowboy growing up in almost the truest sense. He was roping and riding in southeastern Missouri. 1-2 pitch up and in. He moves his hands out of the way. 2-2. Lending a hand with the cattle on his grandfather's farm. Competing in steer riding competitions. And this is a guy that owns a lot of cowboy boots. 2-2. Sliced away foul.
I take it back, Ben. Do not send this guy to AAA.
You think he has it now?
Keep him on your roster.
From what the article says, from Mark Topkin, you can check it out, Tampa Bay Times, he has several different pairs of cowboy boots, all different, I guess snakeskin or alligator, I don't know, all different types of materials. 2-2 pitch is lofted out to center field, right at Dalton Varsho. He backs up, makes the catch, 1 out. He's also got the classic that you have to have if you're a cowboy, the Stetson hat.
You have a Stetson hat. You were wearing one the other day, weren't you?
Yeah, of course, yeah, right in the booth. It was bring your Stetson hat to Rogerson. Meisner retired and Danny Jansen up to the plate. Longtime Blue Jay catcher is 0 for 1 today. Popped out to third base. The pitch. Called a strike. Seeing Jansen makes you think of all the questions the Blue Jays had about their catching situation coming into this year. both with Alejandro Kirk taking on a larger role and the competition for a backup coming into the season. 0-1 pitch, popped up. Near home plate, Vladdy is racing forward toward the line, slides, and it gets down in front of him. Guerrero had to range around the runner Jansen, who nearly collided with him. Kirk, it looked like, never saw it, and then gave way to Vlad, who just didn't get there in time.
Well, I'm not sure if the wind didn't play with that play there. I'm pretty sure that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. thought that he had a beat on it, and then the wind was pushing it towards Alejandro Kirk, towards home plate, and he just never got there.
So that'll be an extra life for Danny Jansen. 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the 5th. Barrios kicks and deals. Down and away, ball 1. On the Blue Jays catching situation, though, you don't know about Kirk as a starter. You don't know about Heineman or whoever was going to be the backup. Entering this series, they've been one of the best tandems, limiting runners in terms of catching people stealing. 1-2 is fouled off.
Well, you certainly don't know about Tyler Heineman.
Coming into the year, yeah. I mean, the Blue Jays fans knew who he was, but hadn't seen him in any extended role.
Right.
And coming into this series as a unit, they were hitting over 300. They had the best batting average from catchers, did the Blue Jays, of anyone in the majors coming into this series at 301. 1-2 pitch. Down and away, 2-2.
They've been good offensively, defensively. That's something that I've been very impressed with, specifically Tyler Heineman. I knew that Alejandro Kirk was very good defensively, but Tyler Heineman has impressed me a lot.
He's actually throwing out runners at a higher percentage than even Kirk is, less of an opportunity because Kirk is playing all the time. But they've both been scary for base runners. 2-2. Hit on the ground, foul, third base side. He jammed him with a sinker in.
And the thing that I love most about Tyler Heineman, Alejandro Kirk doesn't really do this as much, is he instills confidence in the pitcher. He's always pumping his fists, banging that bare fist into his glove, pointing at pitchers, letting them know it's a good pitch. That's actually really important.
2-2. Chop towards short. High hop for Bichette. Backhands throws on to first. And there are 2 down.
You might throw a pitch that you weren't overly in love with, but if you see your catcher, whether it's true or not, that's not what I'm questioning right now. If you see your catcher excited about the pitch, you kind of feel like, oh, maybe that was a good pitch. Maybe I do have the feel for it today. That's like I said, that's really important.
Kirk sets up inside. The pitch to Chandler Simpson. Pops the glove right on the target. Strike 1. Catching overall, it was maybe the biggest positional question mark coming into the year. It's at least in the discussion for it. 0-1. Inside 1-1. And at this point in the season, it's probably one of the positions you feel best about all over the Blue Jays.
It doesn't feel like Tyler Heineman is a backup catcher.
Even though he plays once a week.
Right. You see him in the lineup, and you're not like, oh, that's a hole.
Right.
Like you usually would for a backup catcher, at least on the offensive side.
1-1 pitch lined up the middle by Simpson. That's a base hit into center field, and maybe we'll see that Kirk arm work because it's a single for Simpson, one of the speediest in the game.
Well, I'm assuming at some point he'll try to take off, but Jose Barrios is quick to the plate. Alejandro Kirk has been very good throwing out base runners this season. I'm excited to see this next maybe 2 or 3 minutes here with him standing at first base.
Simpson swiped a bag yesterday. It was his 13th of the season. First pitch called a strike against Yandy Diaz. Simpson also, though, on the 14th, tried to steal against Alejandro Kirk in the 3rd inning at Rogers Center, and Kirk threw him out one of the 3 times he's been caught this year. 2 outs, the 0-1. Fastball at the knees, 0-2. Maybe at this point you don't even worry about the runner. You're ahead 0-2 on Yandy Diaz.
Yeah, if I'm Jose Barrios here, I'm more worried about throwing a good pitch, not worried about Chandler Simpson and what he's doing over there.
It is a big lead at first. 3-0 Rays, bottom 5, the 0-2. Slurve hit on the ground at third, picked up by Barger. A crow hop and throw on to first to end the inning. More clean baseball from Jose Barrios. After that first, he's thrown 4 straight scoreless innings. 1 hit, 1 left for the Rays, who still lead 3-0 as we go to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Sportsnet Plus is the streaming home of the Blue Jays.
Oh, what a catch!
Stream over 150 Blue Jays games all season long.
You won't see this anywhere else.
Including pre- and post-game coverage with Jamie and Joe on Blue Jays Central.
One of the best in the game right here.
Watch all the Blue Jays action wherever you are, at home or on the go.
Don't you love baseball?
Plans start from $24.99 a month.
We are good to go.
Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Francis kicks and delivers. Called strike 3, 95.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leading off, top of the 6th inning. Blue Jays looking for a spark. They're down 3-0 to the Rays. Still Shane Baz, his 69th pitch of the day. 97, strike 1. Blue Jays have 5 total base runners against Baz. 3 walks and 2 singles. Guerrero's 0 for 2. Ground out and pop out. 0-1. Swing and a deep fly ball. Out to left field. Going back Simpson. See you later. A solo home run for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And maybe that's the spark for Toronto. They trail 3-1 in the top of the 6th.
Well, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has struggled with four-seam fastballs at the top of the strike zone and inside for the better part of this season. And I'm not sure why, but Shane Baz threw a changeup right down the middle, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was all over it. Barreled that thing up, hit that thing on a line out of here to left field.
For Vladdy, it's his 7th home run of the year to tie Dalton Varsho for the team lead. And the Blue Jays on the board. They have their first regular season home run at Steinbrenner Field. And now it's Dalton Varsho to hit. The pitch. High and outside, ball 1.
Jose Barrios has done his job. He's given this team a chance to win this ball game.
Now it's the bats' turns to come through. Barrios gave up 3 in the first, but hasn't allowed a run since. 3-1 Rays, top of the 6th. The 1-0. Down and in. 2-0. Varsho 0 for 2. Average has dropped below 200 to 197. The pitch. Popped up. Jansen can't see it. It's back behind the plate. It's out of play into the seats. 2-1.
That was a very hittable pitch. A four-seam fastball on the inner third, and Dalton Varsho was just behind it a little bit, fouled it back.
Varsho has walked a little bit of a tightrope this year. 2-1. Ball to strike 2-2. His overall offensive production has been better than last year, but he's hit for a lower average so far, and he's striking out more, about a third of the time. He's making up for that with a near 600 slugging percentage coming into this game. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. You just have to keep hitting homers and doubles if you're going to strike out at this rate to be productive.
Yeah, but I mean, Dalton Varsho's come up with some big hits this season. He's 100%. Only hitting 200 or just below now, but a lot of those hits that he's got have been massive hits for this team.
One out, top of the sixth, 3-1, Rays over the Blue Jays. Pitch to George Springer. Check swing, bouncer, foul's going to stay fair, pardon me. Picked up at first by Jonathan Aranda, who steps on the bag, and they're 2 down.
That's a really awkward swing from George Springer. It was 97, a four-seam fastball, almost in on the hands. It was kind of a protection swing from George Springer. Unfortunately, it stayed fair, and he's out at first base.
So 2 down in the top of the sixth. Sixth inning that's brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance, it's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. The pitch to Alejandro Kirk, swing and a miss, strike one. Just to go back to Varsho, he absolutely has. I don't want to take away from that. Even as recently as the finale of the Padres series sweep, he hit that triple in the 11th inning that tied the game and gave Nathan Lucas the opportunity to hit the walk-off single. The 0-1. Fouled away, 0-2. He'll just either have to continue to slug like crazy, which, I mean, he's got a lot of power, it's possible, or find maybe a little bit of a happy medium where he hits for a little more contact, strikes out a little less, and walks a little more.
What would you rather him do? I like getting your take on things.
I mean, if he can keep hitting homers and doubles at this rate, this team really needs that. I think that would be fine. 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's just a hard thing to do.
Right.
I mean, he's set himself up if he continued on this pace, which I'm taking a lot out of 20 games or even less than that. I mean, he'd be a guy who'd be threatening high 30s, 40 homers after missing a while. 1-2, hit back foul, still 1-2. So if that's the case, if he's going to have mid to high 30s homers, I think you can live with the other stuff. But if it's going to land more in the mid-20s, probably want him at, 230?
Maybe. But he does have the potential to hit mid-30s, high 30, even 40 homers. I think he does at least.
1-2. Grounded foul, third base side.
Maybe not this year, of course, because he missed so much time. But if he was a full 162, I'm sure he could threaten 40 homers.
I mean, he hit 27 in his last year in Arizona in a ballpark that's typically not super friendly to batters. 2 down, top of the sixth. Base is empty. Pauses 1-2 to Alejandro Kirk. Bounced over the hill, up the middle, and it's bobbled up the middle by Caballero. Tried to cut it off before Brandon Lau got to it. Lau was a little bit more set up behind the ball. They might get Kirk if he lets it go through. But instead it rolls right in between the two infielders as it nicked off the glove of Caballero, I believe. So it'll go down as a hit for Alejandro Kirk.
Yeah, you have to know who's running. Caballero obviously should have let that ball go through. Brandon Lau could have easily fielded that ground ball and thrown Alejandro Kirk out by a mile at first base.
Instead, it'll be the last pitch that Shane Baz throws in the game. He goes 5 scoreless, but allows the leadoff homer to Vlad, and now a 2-out single to Kirk. And it's a runner on first, 2 down, 3-1 Rays. Top of the sixth. This pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Let's go over to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check in on that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, and we'll start with hockey in the Stanley Cup playoffs as we are in the midst of the conference finals. So last night we got Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals between the Oilers and the Stars. Edmonton managing to earn a split as things shift back to Alberta. Last night they blank Dallas 3-0. Stuart Skinner with the 25-save shutout. Game 3 will go in Edmonton tomorrow afternoon, 3 Eastern, 12 Pacific. That's the time of puck drop on Sportsnet and to CBC. Of course, it is hockey night tonight, Saturday, and the Hurricanes are taking on the Panthers in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. The series is now in Sunrise, Florida for a few games. The Panthers entering play tonight with a 2-0 series lead. And prior to puck drop, the Hurricanes making a goaltender change for this game. Piotr Kochetkov getting the start over Frederik Andersen right now in Game 3. 8 minutes to go in the first period on Sportsnet and the CBC. No score right now, so things are starting off all right for. And you know what? As I said that, literally as I said that, the Panthers just scored. So there you go. The Carolina Hurricanes are down 1-0 with 7:53 to go in the first period. You can watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. We won't update that game again because clearly we're the jinx. Sportsnet and Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action with our game, Blue Jays and Rays. Here are Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. New pitcher is a left-hander for the Tampa Bay Rays. Garrett Clevenger is on for Kevin Cash's club. Tampa Bay leading Toronto 3-1 with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. Alejandro Kirk is on first. Clevenger spins around Santander to bat right. Santander representing the tying run in this game. He's reached both times today, a walk and a single to right center. The pitch. Outside at 95, ball 1. It's a Rays reliever, so he throws hard, harder than the average guy in his position. Somehow this is the soft tossing lefty out of their pen with Mason Montgomery averaging 100. 1-0. 96 hit off the end of the bat, but rolled through the right side. A base hit into right field. Kirk up to second. It might not be the typical slug, but it's a 2-hit day for Santander, who reaches for the 3rd time.
Well, there was a big hole on the right side. Brandon Lau was shaded towards second, and Jonathan Aranda was holding on Alejandro Kirk at first base, or at least playing close to first base. And Anthony Santander just takes that tough fastball and goes the other way, shooting that big hole.
So 2 aboard now for the Blue Jays. A left-on-left matchup brings Addison Barger up. The pitch. Fouled off of his own back ankle. A grimace by Barger, who lifted the left ankle off the ground for a moment. It's 0-1. Barger 0 for 2 today. A pair of swinging strikeouts. Probably happy to see this left-on-left matchup instead of Shane Boss. 2 outs. And the 0-1. Hit on the ground towards second, hit softly. Charging in Lau, underhand flip over to first to end the inning. The Blue Jays get a run on the Guerrero solo shot. 2 hits after that, but they leave Santander and Kirk on base. It's 3-1 for the Rays, middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Yourself in a community of hard rock extremists.
World premieres,
Live performances,
and artist takeovers.
A giant thank you to the entire Octane community for keeping rock alive.
Turn up new hard rock.
Turn up Octane.
Tonight, Channel 37 and at home with the SiriusXM app.
No one brings you the passion of the beautiful game quite like SiriusXM FC.
Would you believe this?
Whether it's live matches from the EPL, MLS, the NWSL, or the UEFA Champions League.
This is sensational!
Or live talk shows featuring the sport's most entertaining experts.
You don't get to say, I don't feel like making that play right now. You make the play.
It's the world of soccer at your fingertips.
How mouth-watering is that?
SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and streaming on the SiriusXM app. U.S. Open Moments on SiriusXM.
Tiger Woods' performance at the 2000 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach was the most dominant in major championship history.
And Tiger Woods is the 100th U.S. Open champion in history.
Tiger led wire to wire and rewrote the record books, becoming the first player to finish an Open double digits under par in a remarkable 15-shot win. U.S. Open week begins June 9th on Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
It's that radio network.
Bottom 6, Jose Barrios back out on the hill after 79 pitches and 3 runs allowed through 5 innings. He'll take on a tough part of the Rays order, starting with the number 2 hitter in their lineup, Josh Lowe. The pitch. Inside, ball 1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Shulman. Josh Lowe 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Also a pop fly to short. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Threw the cutter up and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jose Barrios, in terms of pitch count, hasn't gone very deep into games recently. 1-1. High, 2-1. Now, he's very efficient, so in terms of innings pitched, he's still getting to his 5 1/3, 5 2/3, 6 a lot of the time. But he hasn't thrown 90 or above since his second start of the year. 2-1. Clips the inside corner, 2-2.
I'm wondering why that is. Has John Schneider given us a reason for that?
No. Not that I've heard, at least.
That's interesting.
Hasn't eclipsed 100 at any point yet. On April 1st, he threw 95, his most of the season. 2-2. Is bounced over the hill, right at the shortstop Bichette, who is set up the middle. He gloves and throws to first. 1 out.
Maybe by doing that, you hope that by August, September, he's a little more fresh.
It's possible. Barrios did start last year with one of the best stretches of his entire career and then slowed in the second half to end up having a good year, but not a career year, kind of a typical very solid year like he always does.
Maybe that's just the obvious reason.
Something to investigate going forward. It's pitched to Brandon Lau with 1 out. Is pop back foul out of play 0-1. Barrios is still recorded an out in the 6th in the majority of his starts. 0-1 inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Mason Fluharty's warming up in that Toronto Blue Jays bullpen down that left field line.
Speaking of the pen, some pretty big news out of the Blue Jays bullpen. Get to in a sec. The 1-1 is hit high in the air toward left field. Lucas ranging toward foul territory, looking at the Blue Jays bullpen. It bounces into that bullpen foul. 1-2.
What a terrible view from that bullpen. My goodness.
You only had to do it in spring, so at least you didn't have to worry about it. Did you play in the Florida State League?
Yeah, I did. I was a Jupiter Hammerhead.
Nice.
I loved the Florida State League. Half the games are rained out, but it's a great league to play.
Jupiter, home of Max Scherzer and Tiger Woods, if I'm not mistaken.
I think I threw a bullpen at Max Scherzer's house.
2 Tiger Woods catching. 1-2 to Lau. Grounded foul to the right. Speaking of the Blue Jays pen, though, big news, not positive news for Toronto coming down before today's game. Blue Jays made a move bringing Paxton Schultz up because Jimmy Garcia has hit the 15-day injured list with a right shoulder impingement. So all of this came kind of out of the blue. Garcia, if anything, had righted the ship over his last couple outings after struggling a little bit in that Angels series. 1-2. Just poked foul by Lowe on a half swing. He bounced it straight down into the dirt. Garcia's going back to Toronto, according to John Schneider, to see a doctor. Schneider said it wasn't really one pitch or one outing, just a build-up from having to use him a lot in big spots, and they were trying to use him a little less. 1-2 again. Check swing, pitch outside, appeal down to third, and on appeal, no swing. 2-2. They were trying to give him some extra time to warm up, trying to give him extra time in between outings, and eventually they just felt like this was the best thing for him and the best thing for them to make sure that it doesn't become more than what it is right now. 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Change up just below the knees for Barrios. It's his 3rd strikeout, and there are 2 down.
Jose Barrios has really found that changeup. See him screaming after throwing that good changeup in the strike zone and then out of the strike zone. And Brandon Lau was way out in front. He's been very good since that 3-run home run in the first inning.
Gave up the 3-run homer to Junior Caminero, who is batting right now. Since that 3-run homer in the first, 1 base runner for the Rays. The pitch inside, backing out of the way. Caminero to oohs and ahs. It's 1-0. Good news for the Blue Jays, at least on the back of the Jimmy Garcia IL stint. As John Schneider said today, that the Tuesday rehab appearance in Buffalo for Eric Swanson could be his last if everything goes well. Next pitch is a slur for a strike, 1-1. Schneider also mentioned that covering some of those Garcia leverage innings will be Chad Green, Brendan Little, who's already been in a lot of those spots, and Yariel Rodriguez, 1-1. Outside 2-1.
I know Brendan Little's a left-hander, and you probably want him facing lefties in leverage situations at any point during the game. But I like Brendan Little as an 8th inning guy.
The 2-1. Hit on the ground off the glove of Barrios. Scrambles to the third base side of the hill. Bare hands it to pick it up and throws to first to end the inning. How about that from Jose Barrios? 3 allowed in the first inning, and he ends up making it 3 allowed in 6 innings. Keeping the Blue Jays in it. They trail 3-1 as we go to the 7th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which Looney Dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit bluejays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart is Canada's Building Center. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Find your location at timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
10 Ks today for Kevin Gausman in 7 scoreless innings.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th, 3-1 race. Garrett Clevenger to Ernie Clement, who grounds the first pitch to shortstop on 3 hops. It's gloved by Caballero. He throws to first. 1 out. 7th inning is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. Blue Jays trying to get it going. They got 1 run in the 6th. Can they turn that into more in the 7th against the lefty Garrett Clevenger? Going to bring a new face out of the dugout. Nathan Lucas lifted, and the pinch hitter is Miles Straw. Blue Jays will do that to get rid of the left-on-left matchup. Lucas ends the day 0 for 2 with a ground-out fielder's choice and a ground ball double play. The pitch to Straw, a .291 hitter. Call to strike. Didn't totally get to introduce Clevenger last inning because he came on with 2 outs. Lefty's got a 96-mile-an-hour on average sinker. There was a slider, a 4-seamer that's even a little bit harder. 0-1 pitch is 89 on the outside edge with the slider, 0-2. He's got a sweeper as well and a cutter. He's kind of overhauled his pitch usage. Last year he was more of a 4-seam cut guy. Now he's more sinker slider. 0-2. Hit on the ground, foul. That was the slider at 86 at the knee.
And he's really funky too. Not only does he have that good sinker slider combination, just a lot of funk, a lot of deception. Not a very smooth delivery, which makes it tough to see the ball.
Drafted originally by the Orioles. His 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Misses with 97. Orioles 3rd rounder out of Oregon in 2015. Traded to the Phillies, pitched for them once. Traded to the Dodgers, pitched for them a little bit. Sent to the Rays at the 2022 deadline. 1-2 pitch is hit hard off the glove of Caminero, who slid into the hole, and that lands in shallow left for a Miles Straw base hit.
Now Bo Bichette gets a chance against Clevenger with that tying run now standing in the batter's box.
3-1, the Rays lead. Caminero has taken so many hits away from the Blue Jays in this game and change of a series so far. But that time he might have overslid it. I think it caught him on the wrist before going past him into left. Danny Jansen's going to talk with Garrett Clevenger before Bichette comes up.
That's a tough play, though. Even for Junior Caminero, who's made a lot of nice plays in this series so far. It was a short hop line drive off the bat of Miles Straw. He did everything he could. Like you said, hit him in the wrist, kind of. Luckily for the Blue Jays, Miles Straw is standing at first base.
This has turned into a full mound visit with pitching coach Kyle Snyder. So because of that, we'll take a quick look at the Bet365 standings. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet. You can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19-plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. The Yankees have won today. They're 32-20 atop the division. The Red Sox have won once. They're trailing right now in Game 2. They are 27-26, 5 back. Blue Jays 25-25, 5.5 back. Rays 1 game behind that at 24-26, and the Orioles have already lost today but are leading now, are 16-34, 14.5 back of the division lead. Runner on first, 1 out, 3-1 Rays, and the pitch to Bo Bichette. Called strike. Clevenger paying a lot of attention to Miles Straw over at first, who has a lot of speed. We haven't seen him swipe so many bags this year, but that's more about opportunity than his ability to do it. The 0-1. Check swing. Peel down to first base. And they do call it a swing. It should have been a called strike anyway, to be honest. So that all evens up. It's 0-2.
97 up around the hands. That's a tough pitch.
And again, this is the second hardest throwing lefty in the Rays pen, averaging 97 on his four-seamer. 0-2. No, it's a step and throw over to first, and Straw back in with a dive.
Like you said, Clevenger paying a lot of attention to Miles Straw over there. That's a good thing for the Toronto Blue Jays. Hopefully that he's paying so much attention to Miles Straw that he misses a pitch over the middle of the plate.
30 stolen base year for Straw in 21. 320 stolen base years in his career. And now the 0-2's in the dirt, picked by Jansen. Straw stays put at first. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Bichette looking for his first hit of the series. He is 0 for 7 to begin the series. A lot of ground balls. 5 of the 7 outs have been on the ground. 1-2 pitch. High and outside. Diving stab off to the right by Jansen. He somehow kept that from the backstop.
That ball was nowhere near the strike zone. Wow, what a play by Danny Jansen.
This is what we've seen from Rays pitching for 2 games. High velocity, highly effective, but pretty wild at times. 2-2 is lined and backhanded at second by Lau. Flips over to the shortstop. Caballero 1 over to first. Inning ending double play. 4-6-3. The Rays turn it, erasing the Straw single. And at the 7th inning stretch, it's Rays 3, Blue Jays 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL 3-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
Hey, this is Chris Bassett. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the 7th inning, Rays leading the Blue Jays 3-1, and for the first time today, a pitching change for Toronto. Brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. After a quality start from Jose Barrios, Mason Fluharty is on. The left-hander starts with the lefty swinger, Jonathan Aranda. Fluharty kicks and deals, and it's a cutter for strike one. John Schneider said before the game today that he has, quote, thrown Fluharty into the fire a little bit. Fluharty has responded. Rookie's 0-1. Broken bat flare, caught at short. The humpback liner is out number one.
That's a good sweeper right there to a tough hitter in Jose Caballero. Jonathan Aranda breaks his bat. It's a good sweeper down and away. This is still up the Bay Rays. The Blue Jays need a shutout inning here.
Kind of like yesterday, it's felt like a more commanding lead for the Rays just because the Blue Jays haven't generated much on the other side of the ball. Now the pitch to Jose Caballero is outside ball one. Mason Fluharty, the rookie out of Liberty University in Virginia. He's made 20 appearances coming into today, 2.25 ERA across 20 innings. Is 1-0. Hit on the ground, picked up at third, shallow by Barger. Tosses over to first sidearm, 2 down. Let's quickly pop over to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Second game of the doubleheader between the Red Sox and the Orioles is still a pitcher's duel, but the Orioles have broken through. They got one off the lefty Brennan Bernardino, and it's 1-0 for Baltimore with the Red Sox threatening in the bottom of the 8th. All of our out-of-town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. First pitch cut on and missed by Cowboy Cam Meisner, 0-1.
By the way, did you hear that walkout song for Cameron Meisner?
I did not. Was it Rhinestone Cowboy by Glenn Campbell?
No, it should have been a Cowboy by Toby Keith.
Even better. 0-1. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Meisner today 0 for 2, a strikeout and a flyout. 2 out, space is empty. The 1-1 is low at 92. About the hardest you'll see from Fluharty. 2 balls, 1 strike. Elsewhere on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard, it's Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Final in the NHL. 2-1 pitch, outside 3-1. At first intermission, the Panthers lead 1-0 over the Hurricanes. They lead the series 2-0 after a very competitive second round for Florida, going 7 games. It is not looking like it'll be nearly as competitive in the Eastern Conference Final. 3-1. Down and away, ball 4. 2-out walk issued to Meisner.
It's actually a pretty good at-bat from Meisner, taking a tough pitch, a couple of tough pitches off the plate outside, down and away. 2 outs in this inning, though, and a runner on first.
Fluharty loses the platoon advantage of left on left with Meisner down to first. It's the right-handed hitting catcher, Danny Jansen. 0 for 2 today. Fluharty's pitch. Called a strike. Jansen was slow out of the gates this year, but it looks like he's rounding into form. Last 10 games, hitting .344, OPS over 1,000, a double and 2 home runs, plus 4 walks. The 0-1. Lifts it out to left field, shallow near the line. Bichette ranging back. Straw, who took over for Lucas, moving in, and it drops out of play, foul into the seats. Rays 3, Blue Jays 1. Home run ball leading the Rays in front. Their 3-run shot in the first. Homers seem to start to be coming around for Tampa Bay. Jansen a big part of that. It's Caminero who got the blast, though, in this one. Now the 0-2 to Jansen. Swing and a miss. He got him. Scoreless inning for Mason Fluharty out of the bullpen around the 2-out walk. He retires. Aranda, Caballero, and Jansen to keep it 3-1 Rays after 7. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday,
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Coca-Cola 600
from Charlotte Motor Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Baseball is back. It's former General Manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former Big League GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front Office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Top of the 8th, Blue Jays in race. 3-1 for Tampa Bay as Manuel Rodriguez enters and misses inside to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Vladdy with a solo home run in the 6th is responsible for the lone Blue Jays run today. 1-0. Hit foul off to the right, 1-1. Pitching change to Rodriguez, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Second day in a row that the Blue Jays see the Mexican righty. 1-1 is bounced foul off of Guerrero and then hit his bat a second time and rolled toward the first base dugout, 1-2.
Manuel Rodriguez and Danny Jansen are really trying to pound Vladimir Guerrero Jr. inside. 3 straight fastballs in off the plate.
Vladdy's homer came on a changeup, 1-2. Down and away with the slider at 91. Another guy throwing absolute gas out of the Rays pen. 90-mile-per-hour slider leads the mix, averages 97 on the sinker and the four-seamer. 2-2. Hit off the handle, a roller up the middle. A lot of spin on it. Picked up by the shortstop Caballero, who tosses over to first. 1 out.
I really like that sequence from Rodriguez. 3 fastballs in, a sinking fastball, 1 slider away, and then back inside for a hard fastball and a weak ground ball.
It's been a big find for the Rays. Manuel Rodriguez, first time that he broke camp with the big league club was this year. Little bit of time with the Chicago Cubs in 21 and 22. But really broke through as a part-time guy for the Rays last year. Has an ERA around 2 1/3 so far in just under 24 innings pitched. Righty offers to Dalton Varsho. 99 at the knees, but they call it low. Ball 1.
It's about as good as it gets. Velo and location.
I mean, where are all these guys hiding, and where are they finding them? 1-0. Hit back foul, 1-1.
If you look at Manuel Rodriguez's career numbers, he only has 78 strikeouts in 92 1/3 innings. I mean, his stuff, it seems like strikeout stuff. It's interesting that he doesn't have 9 per 9. Most strikeout guys have at least 9 per 9.
1-1 is hit well out to left center. On the run, Meisner dives and he makes the catch. Real nice play out there in left center from the rookie. A point out from the reliever Rodriguez. 2 down.
Well, he might not be swinging the bat all that well for the Tampa Bay Rays, but he's playing really well in center field. Made a couple of nice plays in Toronto. He comes up with a big play there against Dalton Varsho.
He's so tall, he looks like a gazelle out there with the long strides as he tracked it down. Rodriguez had his knees bent, hunched over, looking out, and then fist up and a point out when he made the play. First pitch to Springer now, chopped to short, charging in Caballero, gloves, throws to first to end the inning. Clockwork for Manuel Rodriguez, a 1-2-3 inning, and he sends us to the bottom of the 8th. Rays 3, Blue Jays 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Sportsnet Plus is the streaming home of the Blue Jays.
Oh, what a catch!
Stream over 150 Blue Jays games all season long.
You won't see this anywhere else.
Including pre- and post-game coverage with Jamie and Joe on Blue Jays Central.
One of the best in the game right here.
Watch all the Blue Jays action wherever you are, at home or on the go.
Don't you love baseball?
Plans start from $24.99 a month.
We are good to go.
Subscribe at sportsnetplus.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Blue Jays win it 3-1
on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Blue Jays trailing the Rays 3-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. It's a pitching change for Toronto. A rookie into the ball game. Paxton Schultz, the right-hander, takes over. This pitching change is brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Schultz called up today with Jimmy Garcia going on the injured list. He'll make his 3rd major league appearance. Righty faces Chandler Simpson to start. The pitch. Hit back foul, 0-1. Saw 2 appearances from Schultz when he came up in April. One really good, the other one he struggled. He went 4 1/3 shutout, no walks, 8 Ks in his debut against the Mariners on April 20th. A week later, he surrendered 4 hits and 3 runs to the Yankees in 2 1/3. Righty's 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. He's got a nice mix of pitches, has been a starter at times. There's a 4-seamer, a cutter, a changeup, and a slider, and he'll use all of them. The 1-1. Called strike, flipped the slider into the inner edge. It's 1-2.
Yeah, Chandler Simpson didn't like that call, but that's a pretty good changeup. Did you say it was a slider?
I thought they said
no, it's just they're calling it a slider.
Pitch tracks could be wrong.
My eyes are failing me.
Your eyes might be right. Computers are wrong. 1-2. High and outside, 2-2.
He's got a good arm, though. 94, 96 miles an hour with the fastball, and then 3 different off-speed pitches.
I remember talking to Pete Walker about him in late April, and he said there isn't one pitch for Schultz. It's the mix of pitches that can really make him dangerous. 2-2. Hit foul off to the left. It's a lot of 4-seamer slider to righties. Good mix of four-seamer, cutter, change to lefties. Or the cutter in the high 80s, changeup and slider are both mid-80s. 2-2 count to start this bottom of the 8th inning. 3-1 for the Rays. Nobody on, nobody out. Schultz kicks and deals. And it's hit on the ground to short. Picked up Bichette, running throw over to first. Simpson retired. 1 out.
That was actually a nice play from Bo Bichette. It hopped up at the last second. He was charging it, obviously, because he knows Chandler Simpson has a ton of speed. And at the last second, that ball jumped up on him, and he was able to catch that ball with his glove and make a nice throw to first base.
This is a matchup of two of the better defensive teams in baseball. Blue Jays are third in defensive runs saved in the American League coming into today at 27. The Rays second with 28. Only Texas better than both these two clubs according to defensive runs saved. First pitch, cutter, freezes Yandy Diaz. Strike one. Diaz has been held quiet today. Rays in general have since the first inning. But Diaz is 0 for 3. Right on right. Here's the 0-1. In the dirt. Bounced in front of the plate. Picked on the backhand side by Kirk. They'll get a new baseball for Schultz. It's 1-1. The Rays have had 2 base runners since that first inning. 1 single and 1 walk. No one's reached scoring position. But Junior Camanero's first inning 3-run homers still keeping Tampa Bay in front. 1-1. Hit on the ground to short. Backhanded Bichette falling away. Throws from the left field grass. Dug out by Guerrero for a beautiful play in the second out of the inning. One of the best plays you might have ever seen from Bo Bichette, falling away toward left field. Delivered on the money. Credit to Vladdy getting into the splits for the backhanded dig as well.
Well, that was a perfect play all the way around. Bo Bichette getting rid of that baseball. Little short hop at first base. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with the splits. Beat Yandy Diaz by about half a step. What a play.
Sensational from Bichette and Guerrero to get Diaz just barely. Now 2 outs in the pitch to Josh Lowe. Low ball 1. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. 3-1 for the Rays over the Blue Jays. Looking ahead to the 9th inning. Kirk, Santander, Barger due up for Toronto. The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. That actually might be the pocket of the order today that you want up between Kirk and Santander. Those two have reached 5 out of 6 times today. 2-0 pitch. Hit on the ground to first. Sunday hop Guerrero backhands it and runs to the bag to end the inning. Very tidy reintroduction to the major leagues for Paxton Schultz. A 1-2-3 8th inning, and we go to the 9th. It's the Rays 3, the Blue Jays 1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Tomorrow is the fastest day of the year, and SiriusXM puts you in the driver's seat.
Man, I've wanted this race for so long.
The green flag drops on Formula One's Grand Prix of Monaco at 9 a.m. Eastern on Channel 81.
Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
Then at noon Eastern on Channel 83, we head to the Brickyard for the greatest spectacle in racing, the Indianapolis 500.
Joseph Newman goes back-to-back.
At 5, NASCAR and the Coca-Cola 600 on Channel 90.
Coming to the green flag. The crowd is on its feet.
Hear it all on SiriusXM and the SiriusXM app.
The football talk doesn't stop on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
They're mentally tough, they're physically tough, and they're talented.
From OTAs to mini camps and leading up to training camps, stay updated on the latest news around the National Football League.
Got to practice a certain way if you want to be winners.
Our experts are getting you ready for the 2025 season.
For the veteran players, they want to see the guy earn the job.
There's a story for every team on NFL Radio Channel 88 and the SiriusXM app.
This is Mike Farron from Power Alley. When you work together as long as former general manager Jim Duquette and I have...
5 years.
13. Regardless, we know everything about each other, like my favorite city. New York. Chicago. My favorite food.
Hot dog with lots of ketchup.
Gross. My favorite musician.
Billy Joel.
Somehow even more gross. Jim, what do you actually know about me?
You love baseball, just like me.
Join us for baseball talk and apparently very little else on Power Alley, weekdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Well said, Mitch.
It's Mike.
in season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
Crunch time for the Blue Jays. Top of the ninth inning. They trail the Rays 3-1. It's a pitching change for Tampa Bay, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. It's the tough closer in for the second straight night. Right-hander Pete Fairbanks on for the 23rd time this year.
We saw him last night, and he was good last night. He has that big fastball, and he can locate it as well.
Defensive change for the Rays. They've taken Caminero out like they did last night, shifted Caballero from short to third, and now Taylor Wall's in at short. First pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Might have been outside, but it's called a strike, 0-1. Kirk, Santander, Barger due up this inning. Mentioned in the bottom of the eighth, Kirk has reached twice, Santander 3 times. They've been on 5 out of 6 tries today. The 0-1. Swing and a miss at 98, elevated, 0-2.
A lot of angle on that fastball. It's a tough fastball to square up.
2.14 ERA for Fairbanks. 9 saves in 10 tries. He was lifted amid a save opportunity against the Blue Jays on the 13th of May. But he's been pretty lights out other than that. 0-2. Hit high in the air out to right center field. Playable, though, for Meisner. Just in front of the warning track, he makes the catch. And that's the first out for Fairbanks in the ninth. Blue Jays have Michael Stefanik, Jonathan Clase, and Tyler Heineman still in the dugout if they want to make any changes. But they won't make a change right now. Anthony Santander's up. And in his return to the starting lineup, Santander, a walk and a pair of singles today. He's been aboard all 3 times. Switch hitter bats left, checks the right side of the infield, now looks out at Fairbanks, the pitch. 97 elevated, but in the zone, strike 1.
Fairbanks is just filling up that strike zone now with that upper 90s heat.
Rays scored 3 in the first, and they're still up 3-1 in the ninth. The 0-1. High, 1 ball, 1 strike. This ninth inning is brought to you by new pizza from Pizza Pizza. Get a huge 18-inch double XL 3-topping pizza for just $19.99. Bigger slices, bigger bites, only at Pizza Pizza. Actually Canadian. The 1-1. High and outside, 2-1. Santander did face Fairbanks yesterday. Fairbanks just tossed the baseball away. He wants a new one. And earned a walk that allowed the Blue Jays in the exact same score, a 3-1 game, to bring the tying run to the plate. Some early misses in this at-bat. Now the 2-1 pitch from the right-hander. Check swing, called strike as he flipped the slider in. Middle in, it's 2-2.
That's nasty stuff, especially when you're expecting something hard. You can see Anthony Santander was out in front of that. Didn't swing the baseball bat, but was fooled by that pitch.
That fastball makes the slider even more devastating. As good as the fastball is, the slider has given up about a 100 average this year. 2-2. Called a ball. That's a pitcher's pitch. Looked like it had the corner at 97, but the Blue Jays will take the break there. It's 3-2.
Holy cow, that's a good pitch.
An extra life for Santander, trying to reach to bring the tying run up. Fairbanks kicks and deals. And it's fouled away. Good job spoiling a good slider below the knees. Still a full count. Santander in swing mode. Don't want to leave it in the hands of the umpire unless it's something obviously out of the zone. Another 3-2 pitch. Low, ball 4. Good at-bat there from Santander. He reaches with a walk. They have not retired him in 4 tries today, and now the tying run will come to the plate.
I like this matchup here. Addison Barger loves hitting fastballs. Pete Fairbanks has that upper 90s fastball, but what a take from Anthony Santander. That last slider, that really tough slider below the strike zone, he took it really confidently.
So life in this game for the Blue Jays. One big swing could tie it. The pitch to Barger. In the dirt, ball 1. With the caveat that one of the pitches should have been called a strike for sure. It's been a little bit dicey with the zone, actually, to the last 2 batters for Pete Fairbanks. 1-0. Swing and a miss. Not back in the strike zone with a slider on the outside corner.
You think Addison Barger wanted to tie the ball game with that swing?
Looked like it. Barger's got 2 home runs on the season. Hasn't been up the whole year. He also has 9 doubles. 1-1. Swing and a liner out to left field, hit right at Chandler Simpson. He makes the catch. Good contact, but hit it to the wrong spot. 2 down.
Really good approach, really good swing. That fastball was 97, almost on the black outside, and Addison Barger again was able to get the barrel to it as he's done so often recently. Set it to the wrong spot. Chandler Simpson catches that baseball for out number 2.
So it comes down to this. 3-1 Rays. They're trying to take the series. 2 outs, top of the 9th. Ernie Clement hitting. He's the tying run in the game. With Santander on first, the pitch. In the dirt, ball 1. Rays trying to keep a streak going against the Blue Jays. I went and looked back. Blue Jays have not taken a series from the Rays since September of 2023. A couple splits in there. But other than that, all series wins for the Rays. 1-0. Low ball 2.
If I'm Ernie Clement, I'm just forcing Fairbanks to throw a strike here. I'm not swinging 2-0.
Maybe we'll see a fastball out of Fairbanks. He started with 2 straight sliders. No hold on the runner at first. Santander. The 2-0. Fastball poured over for strike 1.
It looked like he was forcing him to throw a strike there. It's a good approach from Ernie Clement.
Clement with a hit and a walk today. He's 1 for 2. The pitch. Squares to bunt, and he bunts it toward third, but it's going to go foul. Caballero was playing deep. Clement trying to try something creative to keep this game going, but couldn't keep it fair. Now the Blue Jays down to their final strike.
Might have bunted ball 3. I don't dislike the attempt there. I'm just saying you got to bunt a strike. Could be 3-1, not 2-2 here.
Clement asks for time, spits into his right hand, rubs it around in between his batting gloves, and now steps back in. Runner on first, 2 down. 3-1 Rays, top of the 9th. And the 2-2. Low, ball 3, real close to this game being over, but maybe a couple of inches below the knees.
That's a tough take. 99 below that strike zone.
Santander went up to second on defensive indifference. Full count, 2 outs. The 3-2. High, ball 4. He walked him on a slider. Went back to the breaking ball that he had trouble controlling early in the plate appearance. And it's a second walk in the inning to bring the go-ahead run to the plate.
2 really good at-bats. Anthony Santander, now Ernie Clement. You could see how excited he was to take that pitch, take that walk, flings the bat back to the dugout. He's standing at first base. He's the tying run.
3-1 game. Miles Straw is up for the second time today. Had a pinch hit single in the 7th. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. On May 13th, Straw doubled off of Pete Fairbanks, the first of 3 doubles in a row for the Blue Jays. That chased Fairbanks out of a game and brought in Mason Montgomery. It was a non-save situation that time. This one is a save situation. First and second, 2 down, the 1-0. Hit in the air, out to right center field, and this should do it. Meisner camped under it, makes a one-handed catch, and the Rays take the game and the series. Identical score to yesterday, 3-1 the final in favor of Tampa Bay.
That was a really well-pitched game. Shane Baz for the Rays and Jose Barrios for the Toronto Blue Jays. Barrios gave up that 3-run home run in the first inning to Junior Caminero, but after that settled down. Shane Baz got himself into some trouble, but he's got the stuff to be able to get out of that trouble, and he did just that tonight.
Two pitchers duels going in favor of the home team. The Blue Jays drop one today to go below 500. We're going to take a quick step aside. When we come back, we'll wrap it up and get you over to Blue Jays Talk. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit bluejays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Only Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus bring you every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Things really starting to heat up.
The quest continues.
There's some bad blood. There's some animosity. There's some rivalries.
For hockey's ultimate prize.
Great players know that playoffs are a time to shine.
Great play and he scores!
Wow! From 16 teams to one champion.
You cannot script this stuff.
Watch or stream every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Only on Sportsnet. Here for the Cup.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
In time! What a play, Bo Bichette!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. The Blue Jays fall today to the Rays 3-1 with Tampa Bay taking the series. Let's take a look back at this one. Chris, Jose Barrios, he came out in the first inning, really struggled with his command. A walk, was spraying it all around at one point to Lau, who hit a double, and Junior Caminero homered. 4 batters into the game with only 1 out in the bottom of the first. It was 3-0 for the Rays, but I was incredibly impressed. From there on out, he turned a difficult situation into a quality start, throwing 5 2/3 scoreless after that, allowed only 2 base runners after that 3-run homer and kept the Blue Jays in it.
Well, from that second inning on, he was a completely different guy. During that first inning, you and I noticed that he really didn't have a feel for any pitches, didn't have a feel for that strike zone. Like you said, he was spraying that ball all the way around. I knew that he was grinding through something, fighting through something, really fighting that release point. But when he came out for that second inning, he was a completely different guy. He had a feel for the sinker, a feel for the change. The slurve was very, very sharp. And he gave the Blue Jays a chance to win. That's the most important thing. I think after giving up that 3-run home run, the game's not over. As a starting pitcher, your job after struggling in the first inning is to give your team a chance to win. And he did that tonight. He pitched very, very well from that second inning on.
For a second straight night, though, the Blue Jays could not solve Rays pitching. Shane Baz goes 5 2/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. I mean, he had a little trouble in the second, bases loaded with 2 outs, got out of it, and then really cruised along until giving up the solo homer to Vlad in the 6th. Blue Jays made a little more noise after that, but really there weren't that many times that it felt like the Blue Jays had a big opportunity to score in this game. They just got shut down again by the starter and the high leverage guys in the Rays pen.
Well, I think Shane Baz is an all or nothing type of pitcher where he's either pitching really well or he's giving up 5 runs in 4 innings. And tonight was kind of the latter, where he just pitched really well. He had a few at-bats where he lost the strike zone, sprayed that fastball all over the place, but he really locked in after he had those few at-bats, and I was really impressed with what I saw from him tonight. The fastball was up to 99. That curveball was really good. It was the rare 12-6 hurt curveball, that hard-breaking curveball that you don't really see that often from starting pitchers anymore. Other than that home run to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he was really, really solid tonight.
The home run did extend Vladdy's on-base streak to 24 games. It ties him with Dalton Varsho for most home runs on the Blue Jays with 7. But the most important thing, the final score, and it was 3-1 in favor of the Tampa Bay Rays. The Blue Jays with 1 run on 6 hits, no errors, 8 left on base. They had 1 hit in 5 at-bats with runners in scoring position. It actually was not a run-scoring hit. It was a single that loaded the bases by Ernie Clement. For the Rays, 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, 2 left. They only had 1 chance with runners in scoring position, and they hit a 3-run homer. That ended up working out for them. Shane Baz with the win. He's 4-3. Jose Barrios picks up only his 3rd decision overall of the year. The loss puts him to 1-2. Pete Fairbanks with the save, his 2nd in as many nights. He has now 10 on the season. In a crowd of just over 10,000, this game took 2 hours and 17 minutes. The Blue Jays drop it to the Rays. Both teams are now 25 and 26 in a tie for 3rd place in the American League East. One of them tries to get separation tomorrow at 1:40 Eastern. First pitch of the series finale between Chris Bassett and Ryan Pepio. Blue Jays trying to salvage the series. Rays trying to sweep it. We hope that you join us then, and appreciate you tuning in now. For our technical director, Tom Young, our producer, Nick Blackmore, our host, Show Ali, and my partner, Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great rest of your evening, and stick around. Get your calls and your texts in. Blue Jays Talk with Show Ali starts right now.
You know, we used to semi-joke that the Trop was the house of horrors for the Jays because, you know, like all sorts of awful results would happen there. Inexplicable things would go down. It kind of looked like, it was one of the few ballparks I've actually been to. It looks like the Eye of Sauron is kind of like looking down at the field on the players at all times. And, you know, when the news came down that the Rays were going to play at Steinbrenner Field this season, I definitely thought maybe the House of Horrors had been closed at least for the year, because it sounds like they're going to play there next year, which is definitely a good thing for them. But I guess the curse that afflicts the Jays down there is not actually about the ballpark. It's more about the GTA, the general Tampa area, as it's another loss for the Jays down at Steinbrenner Field. Their 2nd in a row, a 3-1 loss as the Jays fall to 25 and 26. 13 walks in 2 games. No Rebby with runners on base and a series loss to show for it. Weird things just, I guess, continue to happen down in Tampa, regardless of the ballpark. The Trop, I guess, is more of an idea than an actual place, it would seem. You're listening to Jays Talk, of course. Show Ali here with you. We're live on the Sportsnet Radio Network. We're also streaming on sportsnet.ca and on the Sportsnet app. You can give me a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. You can text me as well, 590-590, name and location. The People's Text line always open. Standard messaging and data rates may apply. You know, I had said not that long ago that even when the team does experience positive results, like a sweep of the Padres, that the team does feel so inconsistent that, I mean, you never really know what the team will look like on any given night. It's like the infamous box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. And I had said earlier in the season that they do feel like, 1, they are allergic to being too far above 500, and 2, they are likely going to hover at, you know, plus minus 2 or 3 games either above or below 500 all season long. And that's kind of what we've gotten so far. Before the Padres series, they were 22-24. They won 3 in a row. So they went up to 25-24 after the sweep. And now they're 25-26 after losing 2 straight. I mean, that does not by any means invalidate what they did against the Padres, but it does take us back to the lack of consistency, something we haven't seen a ton of. Let's be honest, right? Even in the Padres series, you're looking at items that certainly are positive that you're not seeing before or after. Again, in consistency has seemingly eluded this team a lot. But again, I mean, Blair and Barker have said this before. I've said this before. You could probably play any number of Jays talks when the pitching is good and the offense is not. Because we've said many times after these types of games, I just find it hard to put it on the pitching. I mean, one mistake, a bad mistake from Berrios very early on. But this game, as many of these losses have been on the offense, right? 6 hits, 5 walks, and 1 run to show for it. Again, 13 walks in 2 games, 2 runs to show for it over 2 straight games. They actually tonight doubled up the Rays in hits. The Rays won with 3 hits and 2 walks. Berrios allowing all 3 hits, 2 in the first, and the Chandler Simpson hit later in his outing, and that's it. Oh man, that's brutal, right? That's just brutal. In yesterday's game, the Blue Jays' top 4 batters, Bo, Vladdy, Varsho, Springer, all went a combined, this is yesterday, a combined 0 for 13 with 3 walks, 1 for Vladdy, 2 from Springer. Now tonight, we did get a solo home run from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. It was a changeup, I believe, that Boz threw more or less right down the middle. Definitely not where he wanted to put that, given that Vladdy has struggled with pitches inside, but he pummeled that baseball. Now, that's nice to see. That's one positive we'll get out of the way because Vladdy was, known for having a great eye and being selective with pitches he punishes. So, here's hoping you see more of that from him going after misfires down the middle. I mean, few players in baseball can give you that satisfying noise off the bat for a dinger as Vladdy can. So, that's definitely positive. But, I mean, this team is going to go as the top 4 guys go. And Vladdy's a huge part of that, right? So, 0 for 13 with 3 walks in Friday's game. And tonight, even when you count that Vladdy home run, these same 4 batters, so Bo, Vladdy, Varsho, Springer, again, 0 for 13 with the walks yesterday, went 1 for 16. So in 2 games, the only on-base action from your top 4 batters in over 30 plate appearances was a solo bomb from Vladdy and 3 walks, none of which came in tonight's game. I mean, that's a tough look, right? That is a tough look. Now, one other positive real quick. And again, it matters less when they don't win because, they lose. They're back below 500 again. How many moral victories, silver linings can we really do? And I know I'm like the king of moral victories, but Santander did have 2 hits and 2 walks tonight. So he wasn't retired at all this evening in 4 tries for the Rays. And I mean, this is coming after the pinch hit walk yesterday to bring the tying run to the plate against Pete Fairbanks as well. So you like that? You kind of hope the OBP continues to go up for Santander. Kirk had a hit and a walk tonight as well. So you're not overlooking the positives from those 2, but you just simply need more from your top 4 guys. Now in Bo's case, I will say both yesterday and today, he was hitting like some absolute rockets directly at people. So certainly some bad luck there, but the luck excuse can only take you so far, right? And now that a few games are necessarily going to impact how the team should approach contracts for Bo versus what the entire season brings you, because he's still having a decent to good season, I would say. But the contract aspect of it all could vary so wildly with him. Like there are a bunch of texts here about like, hey, like, should you give Bo a 1-year deal? And I think that's valid to think, right? I tend to believe that he'll get a long-term deal no matter who he signs with, whether it's the Blue Jays or anyone else. I still think it'll end up being like 28 to 30 million a year over the course of 10 to 12 years. But I mean, if you're going to choose to pay someone that much money, and this is a conversation that applies to Vladdy certainly as well, although tonight is maybe not the night for Vladdy slander, given that he was the only guy to score a run tonight. But I mean, you just need far more power than what you're getting from Bo, right? I mean, that puts him in the range of what guys like Trey Turner and Corey Seager got. And at least this year, the stats are actually like somewhat comparable. They're in the same ballpark at least. But the point remains, you do need more from not just Bo, but from all of them. Before we go to the phones, as long as we're talking about Bo, he did have a terrific defensive play in the 8th, running to his right, stabs the ball on the run, and then kind of like body falling away from first. He fires the ball to Vladdy, who makes the pick. So you can't forget that. But again, tonight's conversation, to be fair, is about the power and the offense at large, which we haven't seen for a couple of games. 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Those are the numbers to call. We'll go back to the text line in a sec, 590-590, name and location. But let's go to the phones. Greg joining us from Niagara Falls. Greg, what's up?
How you doing, Show?
Good, man. What's on your mind?
A couple of things here. They just don't have the power hitters they used to have either. Like, everybody's just talking power. They, like you said about the positives, the last 10 games over 60 runs scored, and they have hit about 27 home runs in May. But back to Santander, he's off to a slow start, so I think they're really going to need another hitter anyways. And Jeff Blair's mentioned that too. I really believe that. So what do you think?
Yeah, hey, appreciate the call, Greg. Thanks for joining me. I always felt that you can bury certain guys if they're not like in the lineup, right? You can kind of hide if they're not playing particularly well. But Blair's right, and Barker's right. I'll give Barker a lot of credit on this too, right? He said many, many, many times over the course of the whole season. I think I even had Barker on with me during one of the daytime shows during the off season after the Super Bowl when we're getting ready for spring training. And we had the conversation about like, hey, they got Santander. That's great. It's a decent deal, all things considered. But is that enough? And he unequivocally said no. And he has said that on Blair and Barker. He has said that on this program many times. So, and he's right. I think that the problem is, and I do agree, Greg, I do believe they do need another thumper, as Barker likes to say. It's just, I'm not really sure that guy is out there, right? I know JD Martinez is a popular choice because Martinez has been known just like historically over the course of his career to not do anything but hit for power, pardon me. But I don't know. I mean, Martinez, from last I checked, I think he had one of the, outside of the COVID season, the 60-game season, Martinez essentially had one of the worst seasons of his entire career, if not the worst season when it comes to average and OPS and power results. So I'm not sure he is the answer. I suppose we are getting to the point where I would like them to try something, right? And I do wonder, at least when it comes to results within the organization, I mean, Santander has to go on the IL. It doesn't look like he's that close to going on the IL, given that he played in this game and also played pretty well, all things considered. So that's definitely a positive. But I kind of wonder if a reason they're really trying to prevent that is because they know, to Greg's point, there are no other internal solutions, right? I mean, who's the next closest internal solution? Like Alan Roden? And I'm not saying that to be mean. Alan Roden has been someone I've been excited to watch, but he just hasn't been someone I think who's going to solve this issue right away, right? To Greg's point about the runs scored over the last, what did he say, 10 games? Definitely a positive, but I don't know. It's just, it's a tough watch when you kind of know, unless the top guys turn it around and start hitting for power, that it's not going to really change in an appreciably permanent way. And again, I do think it's like early enough that I feel like it can turn around in a hurry. Like all it takes is a good couple of weeks of hitting. It's just, to go back to the idea of inconsistency, they've been so inconsistent that I'm not sure if they've shown you that it will turn around quickly anytime soon. And again, I bring up how the top four look, when it comes to 30 plate appearances and not a lot to show for it in these two games, which admittedly is a small sample size. Not to harp on them, but maybe also to go back to something we've spoken about before, which is simply, maybe just try some different combinations at this point, right? I mean, we've spoken about protection, and Vladdy's not really getting that right now. I mean, Varsho's batting average, batting third behind Vladdy. I mean, I think last I checked, I think he's batting. Let me just look here. He's batting below 197. Batting 192 after the last AB of this game. Now again, he strikes out a lot. He hits for a lot of power. In a very small sample size, he already leads the team in home runs. So you want a little bit more than that, but I don't know. But try something different. Honestly, like I've said this before. I said this a lot last year when the team was like locked into starting Springer. It felt like atop the order every single game. But if they're struggling, even if in a smaller period, just shake it up a little bit, right? Matt Lucas lead off, and then go Bo, Vladdy, Varsho, 2, 3, 4. Bat Barger lead off in those three. Bat Ernie Clement lead off in those three. Like, I think you leave Santander at 6 for now until he really appreciably turns it around. And it kind of looks like he might be doing that. Although, again, like a pinch hit walk in one game and then 2 hits and 2 walks in the next, you want to see far more than just 2 games. Certainly. I totally understand that. But just try something different, right? They're only slightly under 500, only a game under 500. So it's not as though the hands are hovering over the panic button for me right now. But knowing that you have Ryan Pepio tomorrow, and then you got, I believe this is what the probables look like for the Rangers series, but Jacob deGrom, Nathan Eovaldi, and then Tyler Mahle for 3 straight games. Again, that is according to the Rangers probables beginning Monday. I mean, this sounds super appealing for a team that has not looked great against Tampa Bay. So we'll see. 416-870-0590, 1-888-660-590, star 590 on your cell. Let's go to the text line, 590-590, name and location. David in Dartmouth. We were talking about luck, right? And David said, let's see. If it wasn't for bad luck in Tampa Bay, the Blue Jays would have no luck at all. That's actually pretty funny. It's true. I don't think the BABIP gods have been particularly kind to the Blue Jays, but again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I mean, luck can only take you so far, right? Chris from Hamilton on the text line. When is it time to let John Schneider go? I feel like things weren't as weirdly disjointed as when Carlos Tosca was manager. Where do they go from here? I haven't heard that name in a really long time. My goodness, I haven't heard. We're usually getting like the Charlie Montoyo, John Gibbons text, right? We don't get the Tosca text too much, but yeah, I don't know. I you guys have heard me say this before, that John Schneider will always be, all right, let me rephrase. The manager, not just Schneider specifically as a person, but the manager position is always like the easiest button to push, right? Like the Rockies fired Bud Black this year, and things aren't going any better for them since they fired him. And that's because the problem doesn't necessarily lie with him. It lies with roster construction and how the players are performing. I'm not sure. I do think after the Tigers series, after the Padres series, after you've seen a little bit more in the middle of the month, I think, and certainly how they wrapped up the road trip, if you recall, right? It kind of looked like things were not going to go very well on that road trip at all. And then they still managed to come home from the LA-Seattle road trip 4-2 after the great series against the Mariners in Seattle, which you don't see very often. But I feel like that has somewhat, to Chris's point, stayed their hand. And again, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean things can't change, but I got to think that doesn't seem like it's a conversation that's top of mind for many people. And hey, I mean, Jimmy Garcia going to the IL, which we'll talk about after the break a little bit more, but Garcia going to the IL, I got to think puts him in a bind in a way that he'll get some slack. I got to think, right? But again, 590, name and location. You can reach me there. You can also reach me via the phones. Again, much like Greg did, you can call me at 416-870-0590, 1-888-660-590, star 590 on your cell. Let's take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll go back to the text line, 590, name and location, and we'll check out the Bet365 standings update as well. And we'll also hear from the skipper who's speaking to the media right now. You're listening to Blue Jays Talk. Blue Jays lose their second straight game, a 3-1 defeat to the Rays. We're back in a flash with more of your texts and John Schneider on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneiders. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit bluejays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch three-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca. Only Sportsnet and Sportsnet Plus bring you every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Things really starting to heat up.
The quest continues.
There's some bad blood. There's some animosity. There's some rivalries.
For hockey's ultimate prize.
Great players know that playoffs are a time to shine.
Great play, and he scores!
Wow! From 16 teams to one champion.
You cannot script this stuff.
Watch or stream every game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Only on Sportsnet. Here for the Cup.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swinging a high fly ball, deep left field. At the wall, it's gone.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
They do that all the time, I feel like, whether it's here or at the Trop. You know, they're a good defensive team. Being unlucky kind of happens, and that kind of comes and goes. But they pride themselves on pitching and defense. They have for a long time, and they got some really good defenders.
That is John Schneider talking about whether it's luck or if it's just the Rays pitching and defense. Sounds like a little bit of both, I suppose. But the Blue Jays losing their second straight game, 3-1 in both games, actually, to the Rays. They are now 25-26 as we welcome you back to Blue Jays Talk here on the Sportsnet Radio Network. Show Ali here with you for another couple of minutes, still some time. Give me a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. You think I would know what they are. I've only said them a million times. Text line 590-590. Name and location is the way to reach me via the text line. Via text, we will read your text in a sec, because before we do that, got to check in on the Bet365 standings update. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. It's actually pretty easy to do the standings today, because this division basically has been playing each other. We have our game, Jays Rays. We have the double header between the Orioles and the Red Sox, and then the Yankees are in Colorado taking on the Rockies. Now, the Yankees did lose to the Rockies yesterday. It was not the case today. 13-1. The final score for the Yankees. The doubleheader, which one of the games got rescheduled from yesterday to today, was a split decision for the Orioles and Red Sox. So there was a 6-5 Red Sox extra innings win over the Orioles at Fenway, and then the next game was a 2-1 Baltimore win over the Red Sox. So they split those games, and then we have our game, which was a 3-1 Blue Jays loss. So with all that in mind, the Yankees are 31-20. The Red Sox are 5.5 back. They are exactly 500 at 27-27. The Rays and the Blue Jays are both 25-26. So each of these teams are a game and a half back of half a game back of the Red Sox, and then 6 games back of the Yankees. And then you have the Baltimore Orioles bringing up the rear. They are 17-34. They are 14 games back of the Yankees. That's a quick check of the Bet365 standings update. Let's talk a little bit about Jose Barrios before we go back to your texts. And Barrios, coming into this game, in the month of May, he had 4 previous starts, and in 3 of them, he had only let up 2 earned runs. One of them was a 5-run blow-up, but apart from that blow-up, which was actually against the Rays in that 11-9 loss at the Dome, he had somehow managed to still give the Jays a minimum of 6 innings, even when his stuff doesn't look particularly electric, right? But as with the last time out, despite the home run, Barrios gave this team a chance to win. I mean, we can't ignore the home run, certainly, and we won't. We'll get to it. But despite putting them in an early hole, he kept the deficit of 3 runs for the rest of his outing. And as we've discussed, the bats didn't back him up. We knew coming into this game that Barrios had struggled with the breaking ball. I mean, he had struggled with throwing inside the lefties, for example, the sinker often somewhat like leaking back towards the middle of the plate after starting off looking like it was headed for the inside edge. Early on tonight, it looked like he was having issues. I mean, almost like he was fighting the command. And the pitch to Caminero, for example, on the 3-run shot in the first inning, a slurve, he left way too far over the middle of the plate. And right before that, he threw Caminero a slurve that dipped below the zone and was away from Caminero, who barely managed to foul off that ball, if I recall. So he double dipped with the slurve, didn't go well for him. But as the game went on, even as soon as the second inning, I mean, he really picked it up. He gave up the home run to Caminero, and then after that, retired 13 Rays in a row, gives up a single to Chandler Simpson that obviously did not score, and then retired 4 more in a row. So he allows 3 runs after the first 4 batters of the game, and that ends up being his entire ledger. So again, he gave the Jays a chance to win and claw back in it. So it is hard for, I think, anyone to come out and kind of get on Berrios too much. Because he has started to show a little consistency, and consistency. Those have been the words of the Blue Jays season, I suppose. The bullpen, the news of the day is that Jimmy Garcia was put on the 15-day IL with right shoulder impingement. So before the game started, I was certainly wondering how the circle of trust would look with Jimmy on the shelf. Now, as far as tonight's game goes, I think you kind of need a lead in order to see someone like Jeff Hoffman, but we can still talk about the effects this might have and who you guys would like to see with an expanded role for now. Now, John Schneider did say in the pregame that the 2 guys he was somewhat eyeing to take more of a role in the higher leverage spots without Jimmy were Chad Green and Yariel Rodriguez. And I have to imagine you guys like me would probably be fine with Y-Rod getting some higher leverage spots, given how he's looked the last few weeks. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, he's essentially been unhittable. So if you can somehow harness that in the 8th inning, and maybe even in the rare save opportunity, I think you do it. The downside is you then don't have him to help out in situations where you need to go to him for longer outings after, like an Eric Lauer, for example, only gets through 4 innings or something like that. So we'll see what the outlook looks like for Y-Rod. Obviously, he didn't pitch tonight. I do think he deserves a slightly expanded role in that circle of trust. I admit I am slightly less bullish on Chad Green. But I mean, he and Yariel are probably the 2, like, quote unquote, best righties that you can go to put out fires. I would like to see the Jays play around a little more with the usage of Brendan Little and Mason Fluharty, like even to right-handed batters. Now, if you do that a little bit more, it does somewhat leave you lighter when facing lefties, of course, because they're the only 2 lefties on the roster. And I think you'd rather have Little or Fluharty available to pitch to lefties instead of like chancing Green with a lefty, for example. So it'll be really interesting to see how the Jays utilize those 2 now that you know they're going to be called on a little more. And the crazy thing is they've already been used a ton. So what their roles will look like going forward is almost certainly at least guaranteed to be the same as it is now, but perhaps we might see more of them. We did see Fluharty tonight, of course. He walked a batter, struck out another in a full inning of work. Nothing particularly crazy from him. He's looked pretty much the same since after his first 2 outings of the year. But he was trusted to work in the bottom of the 7th inning yet again, so it probably does continue to speak to how they will view him, use him going forward, which again, pretty similar to how he's been used so far. Paxton Schultz also looked good today. Tidy 1, 2, 3, 8th inning of work. He did kind of see the top of the order. He got to face Diaz and Lowe, Josh Lowe. So it does feel like a somewhat like a situation in which they will simply try guys out as much as humanly possible in the next few weeks or more, depending on how long Jimmy is out for. And I would like to see a little bit more from Braden Fisher. I think there's something there. I mean, for a guy you got for DFA'd Kevin Biggio, I mean, you feel good about him being found money, right? He's gotten some increasingly higher leverage situations. I mean, prior to tonight, he had pitched in six games, 7 total innings of work, 3 total hits, no runs or walks. So, I mean, I do kind of wonder if you see Fisher more in the 7th and 8th innings when need be. I'm not sure I'll necessarily feel amazing about it when he comes in the game with a tie ball game late in a ball game, but it does feel like something that out of necessity, until at least Swanson returns, something that's coming in the not too distant future. Let's look at the text line though before we go. Sean in Mississauga at 590-590, name and location. Jays should trade for Luis Robert Jr. Thank you, Sean. Look, Sean, I will say, and you guys know I've been a big fan of Luis Robert, but I don't think this is the right year to trade for him, right? I mean, I know you buy low, sell high, and I mean, if you're buying on Luis Robert, you're buying real low. This guy has an OPS, just looked it up, 563. He's a batting average of 180. He's hit 5 home runs and 18 RBI, which is not, I mean, compared to some of the Blue Jays, is fine, but I mean, I don't know that Luis Robert is going to necessarily solve your power issues. I do like Luis Robert Jr., but I'm not sure this is the year to give up the farm for him. Colton and Cape Breton, always appreciate hearing from him. At the end of the day, we need to acquire an everyday left fielder / DH who can mash at the deadline, and Vlad has to be better. Highest average among qualified players, Kirk at 284. Yeah, hard to deny what Kirk has been doing, but as we talked about before, you do need more from your top 4 players. Let's see, this one's from Carl in Welland. Been saying it for years. This team needs someone who can hit with runners in scoring positions. Santander's career batting average with RISP is below league average. Tired of seeing one or fewer hits with runners in scoring position or solar home runs accounting for all the runs. Yeah, I mean, again, like tonight, I mean, as much as you need more from the top four, I'm not going to pick tonight as the one night to get on Vladdy too much, considering he was the only one to score. But yeah, I mean, you do need a change. It's just, I'm not sure there's an obvious change beyond trades, as Sean brought up. I'm not sure there's an obvious solution here. Let's see. Larry from Keswick. Everyone wants the manager fired. How about Ross Atkins? They had players. He traded Gurriel. Could have re-signed Tosker. He dismantled a good team, not John Schneider. I mean, I'm not sure I'm like that fussed about Lourdes Gurriel Jr. going, but again, like the Teoscar Hernandez part of it, yeah, I wasn't really fussed about trading him for Swanson because at the time that was something you needed, and he made the outfield adventures something you didn't want to experience. But not re-signing him, I view those as two different things, like the trade and then not re-signing him. But you probably could have. You could have gotten more for you could have.
Cheers, baseball fans. Thank you so much for hanging out with us during the Blue Jays game today. Now's the time. I just had to stop the show during our commercial break and say thank you. We appreciate you being here, hanging out with us. And we're doing big things with SickKids Hospital in Toronto. Right now, we are getting ready for our Playoff Pulse campaign. We are live for our Playoff Pulse campaign, celebrating the NHL and NBA playoffs. And remember, last October, we did every game of the MLB playoffs, and we're going to do it again, hopefully this year, with our Blue Jays in the hunt for that beautiful trophy in October or November, depending on when the series ends. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for supporting our mission to support SickKids Hospital and the great work that they do at that amazing place in our home, downtown Toronto. We'll see you back in the chat. Cheers, Insiders. Let's go, Blue Jays.
Everybody on their feet. Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just walked it off.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather.
A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall.
Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd. Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds in a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
That's it! It's a World Series win for LA!
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio. Right now on Sirius XM.
All rise.
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM Channel 89, and online with the Sirius XM app.
On internet 8:48, 7:15 p.m. New York Mets take on the LA Dodgers. Mets on Sirius 113 XM 185 and internet 858. Dodgers on internet 854. Spanish feed on internet 871. 10:05 p.m. The A's take on the Philadelphia Phillies. A's on Sirius and XM channels 89, internet 841. Phillies on internet 860. 10:07 p.m. LA Angels take on the Miami Marlins. Angels on Sirius 161, XM 188, and internet 853. Marlins on internet 855. For 24/7 coverage of Major League Baseball from day one of the regular season to the final pitch of the World Series, keep it locked on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio, channel 89. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Saturday, May the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 2:10 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Kansas City Royals. Twins on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 857. Royals on Internet 852. 2:15 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals face the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cardinals on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 865. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 4:05 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates face the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 111, XM 177, and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 856. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the San Francisco Giants. Nationals on Sirius 132, XM 178, and Internet 869. Giants on Internet 863. 4:10 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the San Diego Padres. Braves on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 842. Padres on Internet 862. 4:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox face the Baltimore Orioles. Red Sox on Sirius 138, XM 180, and Internet 844. Orioles on Internet 843. National feed on Sirius 139, XM 181, and Internet 963. 4:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 106, XM 182, and Internet 846. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
Have the Miami Marlins found their next star in Kyle Stowers? Well, Clayton McCullough, the Marlins manager, was on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 to talk about how Stowers is someone you can count on.
Top-rate teammate. I think he cares about others, and I think he just does things for the right reasons. We were, talking the other day, and it's just how this game has a way of, rewarding people who just go about and do things the right way. And Dave Roberts used to always say that. And I think that's Kyle, that he shows up. I think he took a lot of lessons from last year, and his previous, stints in the big leagues with just kind of honestly where he was and what it was going to take for him to be able to, survive here. And so between him and our hitting coaches, and again, they worked on, trying to address some of the top of the zone velocity, and he just embraced it and went to work. And he just keeps his head down. He's someone you can count on. He's dependable. So, I'd say trustworthy, hardworking, blue collar, and those are things that kind of sum up Kyle Stowers for me. And just he's diligent.
That was Clayton McCullough on SiriusXM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 discussing how Kyle Stowers could be the next star for the Miami Marlins. If you want more interviews or news from around Major League Baseball, make sure to check out MLB Network Radio on Channel 89.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM MLB schedule for Saturday, May the 24th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 2:10 p.m. Minnesota Twins face the Kansas City Royals. Twins on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 857. Royals on Internet 852. 2:15 p.m. St. Louis Cardinals face the Arizona Diamondbacks. Cardinals on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 865. Diamondbacks on Internet 840. 4:05 p.m. Pittsburgh Pirates face the Milwaukee Brewers. Pirates on Sirius 111, XM 177, and Internet 861. Brewers on Internet 856. 4:05 p.m. Washington Nationals face the San Francisco Giants. Nationals on Sirius 132, XM 178, and Internet 869. Giants on Internet 863. 4:10 p.m. Atlanta Braves take on the San Diego Padres. Braves on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 842. Padres on Internet 862. 4:10 p.m. Boston Red Sox face the Baltimore Orioles. Red Sox on Sirius 138, XM 180, and Internet 844. Orioles on Internet 843. National feed on Sirius 139, XM 181, and Internet 963. 4:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox take on the Texas Rangers. White Sox on Sirius 106, XM 182, and Internet 846. Rangers on Internet 867. Spanish feed on Internet 870. 4:10 p.m. Cincinnati Reds face the Chicago Cubs. Reds on Sirius 119, XM 183, and Internet 847. Cubs on Internet 845. 4:10 p.m. Colorado Rockies take on the New York Yankees. Rockies on Sirius 160, XM 184, and Internet 849. Yankees on Internet 859. 4:10 p.m., Houston Astros taking the Seattle Mariners. Astros on Sirius XM channels 89, Internet 851. Mariners on Internet 864. 7:05 p.m., Tampa Bay Rays taking the Toronto Blue Jays. Rays on Sirius 162, XM 186, and Internet 866. Blue Jays on Internet 868. 7:15 p.m., Detroit Tigers taking the Cleveland Guardians. Tigers on Sirius 83, XM 187, and Internet 850. Guardians on Internet 848. 7:15 p.m., New York Mets taking the LA Dodgers. Mets on Sirius 113, XM 185, and Internet 858. Dodgers on Internet 854. Spanish Viewed on Internet 871. 10:05 p.m., the A's take on the Philadelphia Phillies. A's on Sirius XM channel